Hey everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious Anonymous, and welcome to the Twin Peaks Thought of the Day for Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. Currently, I have 3 guests with me, but we may be joined by a few others fairly soon, so we'll just save them a space. But right now, we have Frank. Thanks for joining me.
Hi there. Good to be here.
Yeah, he's able to join because we're doing this much earlier than normal. So he gave me some crap earlier this week, like, stop doing them at nighttime. I can't get up in the middle of the night anymore. So anyway, that's what happens when we are literally worldwide. We have Hal with us. How's it going?
Hey, Cameron. Good to see you again. Always good to be here.
He's here too because we're doing it early. So it
works a little better for East Coast time. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. We have Stephanie here who's joining us for the first time from Kentucky. How's it going?
Hello, good. How's it going with you?
Oh, it's wonderful. And then we have a black space here. Who's here? Okay, it's the
citizen of the Black Lodge checking in.
Exactly. I guess they'll have to come back. I'm going to eject you out now. Come back when you are available to talk. Otherwise, it just shows up as a black screen, and I'm scared to death the evil doppelganger is trying to tap into our podcast. So, all right, how you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Yeah. Still can't believe we're 5 episodes in.
That's the thing, we have 13 more to go. And I honestly can tell you I have no idea where we're going. So, which is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. Most TV shows you can kind of predict the trajectory of where we're going, and in this you have no clue, and that's a wonderful aspect of the new show.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
That's the beautiful thing about it.
And it's also a frustrating thing for a lot of people. I don't know if you've seen it online, but again, we talk about everything Twin Peaks here, and there are some fans of Twin Peaks. I don't know if they're casual fans or what, but there is an aspect to this new show where people are getting a little frustrated with Dougie being around as long as he is, and the fact that we're not spending a lot of time in Twin Peaks. I'm not trying to discredit those people, but like my wife told me a few days ago when she saw the Dougie stuff, she said, you know what? People may be getting antsy with this, but I have a feeling it's going to pay off in a huge, huge way, which I, completely agree with. All right, over here we have Arbi here. He's coming in from Iran. So
yes, exactly. Hi everyone.
Hello. Your camera is kind of going in and out, just so you know. But okay. I'm sure it'll come back. But are you guys getting antsy with the Dougie stuff, or are you just kind of grooving along with it? Because that's what I'm doing.
I got a little antsy, to be honest with you, on part 5, but I've put that out of my mind, and I'm going with the Lynch flow. I really, like you and your wife, think that it's going to be a huge payoff. I'm even setting myself up for Dougie through the first 9, and then the second half will have Coop. It's like the two halves, So if he goes to episode 9, I'm psychologically prepared for it. It'll be on. I'm going to let Lynch do what he wants to do. So I'm all in.
I think some people are afraid that he's going to go to episode 18.
He might. Then flip it. Yeah.
But I mean,
that might be a little Dougie overload.
But but the thing is, though, with episode 5, and I say this very endearingly, I think there is an aspect to this episode of Lynch and Frost kind of trolling us a little bit, especially with the Dr. Jacoby gold shovel reveal.
I thought that was great.
I thought the same too.
I mean, it's one of those things where you just end up clapping because it's like, how many hours and time did we discuss? Well, what on earth could these shovels be used for? Could it be Glastonbury Grove or some sort of Ghostwood Estate thing? No, he's just selling them.
Yeah, he's just shoveling shit.
Yeah.
But I also think I forget where this came from, so I apologize. But somebody contacted me and said they feel like Nadine's gonna buy one of these shovels and maybe kill Ed and Norma with it. Because she is one of the people that was looking at this very earnestly.
Yeah.
I actually think this. Sorry for my English if it's not on par with you guys, but I actually think this new season is much funnier. Like the stuff with Dougie, the Dr. Jacoby style. it's so funny. It's so stupid and funny, you know. We didn't get things like this in the original series, so I don't know what you think about it. About Dougie, I would like to get it out like in a couple of episodes, but it's really nice. I really enjoyed the fun about these things.
Yes, it's beautiful absurdity in patented Lynch style. You gotta love it.
But it's also funny without being over the top, on the air type of comedy. It is over the top, but it's also very subtle as well. And so
yeah, I loved seeing him because, you know, just the little things that are hitting him, like the coffee, and somebody said the word agent, and he's like, agent. My favorite, though, was him, you know, suckling the coffee like a baby bottle. You know, he's trying to reform it. It's so beautiful, man.
Yeah, and you know, and people have talked about online of him looking at that statue outside. You know, whether it be because
that looked like Sheriff Truman, huh?
A lot of people are saying the Sheriff Truman thing. I'm saying maybe that, but also just the fact that it's a lawman. And I'm trying to find it here though. Let's see, who was it? Sorry guys, I'm just trying to scroll through all this stuff. But I'm gonna give your name out in a second. But somebody said, and if this is true, this is very, very touching. I'll give your name out when I find it in the comments. But they suggested that the statue, his face, is modeled after Lynch's own father's picture.
Wow.
Interesting.
And if that's true, then that's completely awesome, considering that Dougie's boss is named Bushnell, who, of course, Bushnell was David Lynch's art teacher in Philadelphia. Which, you know, if you see the Pretty as a Picture documentary, they have an interview with him. So there's a lot of things. You know, we were talking about the 47 levels the other day, you know, and there's a lot of levels going on here. You don't need to understand them all, but you actually feel like they know what they're doing. It doesn't feel like they're lost and they're just kind of making stuff up like some articles we've read lately have suggested. Everything seems purposeful, even if it's even on a subconscious surrealistic level. It's there because it needs to be there.
I saw somewhere that someone suggested that the face on the statue even looked like David Bowie. Someone threw that one out as well.
I've
They did a
also
close up of the face and they thought, oh, it looks a little bit like Bowie, you know. But I don't know. That seems I don't know about that one, but yeah.
I've also heard someone say that, you know, the way the statue's positioned, pointing the gun at the office building, it's kind of like the past and the future, or the America's decline, you know, from the old ways to the new ways. It's it also that you know, the sort of the sort of cowboys versus the Native Americans kind of thing has a metaphor in there somewhere. So like you said, the 47 layers of meaning are all probably in there.
So the person who gave that to me was Drake Avila. I just want to give you a shout out for that. If that is true, that's an awesome point that you made. Now, another point that has been brought up, and the reason why I didn't discuss it on my watch along yesterday is because I have no idea who this person is. And I've never really seen her before, so it was hard for me to draw from knowing. But Amy Shields apparently was one of the showgirls in the scene that Netber and Belushi were in. I don't know if it's true or not, but people have been saying that. And if that's true, then obviously that one of those showgirls is going to play a bigger part in this show, considering she was interviewed for the press kit, and also she is a major voice contributor to the audiobook of Mark Frost's book.
Yeah, she was the girl in the middle of the three.
Right. So there's, I mean, so you would think that those three girls look like just kind of Lynch cutaway throwaway characters, but apparently one of them is going to be a major thing.
They look like the girl from the Mulholland Drive, you know, the one which sings and the director is looking at it.
Right.
I don't know. They reminded me of that.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
And it also echoed One-Eyed Jack's girls too. You had to.
Yeah.
That came to mind as well.
Kind of similar clothes. Yeah, a little bit similar.
All right. So let's discuss something that's kind of big. It's been kind of going around. Is this? I'm seeing article after article after article comparing Becky to Laura Palmer.
Yes.
Do you think that's a premature thing to be bringing up, considering we've only seen her in this show for 5 minutes and all of a sudden people are ready to make her the next Cheryl Lee of the series? I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just like, if she dies, she dies, but that doesn't make her Laura Palmer.
No, but the style that she enters the show, like she's sniffing cocaine, and the music, she's a blonde, those things maybe make people think that she's the new Laura Palmer. But no, we cannot assume within 5-10 minutes that she's going to have a storyline like Laura Palmer.
And also, I think it would be kind of strange if she did, considering that, she played Lily Kane in Veronica Mars, which was the whole catalyst for that whole series, because she basically already played a Laura Palmer character that got killed off. So, I mean, I think I would hope they're kind of playing with fan expectations again, much like the Cold Shovel, where, but I do want to say that on the watch along, I said that I wasn't sure whether her and Steven were married or not because he wasn't wearing a wedding ring. But it turns out they are married, because if you look at the end credits, their names are the same. So much like her mom, she got married young, and because Shelley was married to Leo. And if you look at the end credits, Shelley does not have a last name. So obviously we don't know if it's Johnson or Briggs or whatever, but minor characters have full names in the end credits, or little characters, have full names, but Shelley is just as Shelley.
So there's lots of information in those end credits. So they go by so fast, but you really need to pay attention to those.
Right. And I mean, there's no indication in the episode that Becky and Steven are married or dating. You just don't know. But like you said, the end credits show that. And I mentioned that about, he's not wearing a wedding ring, and someone commented, yeah, he probably hawked that a long time ago for some heroin. And I said, you're probably right. Also,
there was no indication, except for in the end credits, that the bastard in the Roadhouse was Richard Horn either. You got that from the end credits.
Yeah.
Completely. Well, we have Chad here. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, guys. Hey, doing great.
Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
All right, let's get to the Richard Horn thing. First of all, he's paying off Deputy Chad in this episode, right? Either, I don't know, probably drug running or something, because that seems to be what the Roadhouse is there for, besides hipster bands. But because Deputy Chad may be involved in the drug running, then that says to me that's good news for Bobby Briggs, that he probably isn't doing this. Because I've been kind of nervous that Bobby Briggs became a lawman just to be able to run drugs better, because because of the whole dealing with when he shot the other police officer in Fire Walk With Me. But if Deputy Chad is doing it, I can't see Bobby and Deputy Chad working together. They seem like they would not get along. Maybe
Bobby will be the person who catches the Chad.
Yeah, maybe he'll have to shoot himself another deputy. I don't know. But I mean, obviously, Deputy Chad, when he's like criticizing the log lady, I mean, they already make us not like him. So, in a previous episode, it's much like those car thieves that show up. They can't just try to break into Dougie's car and blow themselves up. No, they have to throw rocks at the little kid to make us really not care that they blow up. But did anyone else catch that stuff with the rims of the car? So when they are breaking into the car, the rims on the tires are one way, and then when the car explodes, it's a completely different rim. And I'm just trying to think, is it production logistics, like they couldn't blow up that car, but they could blow up another car, or whether Lynch and Frost are again trying to show us that Rancho Rosa is not what it is.
I think it's a stunt car, just a double stunt. When it's blown up, it's a different car, because you notice they cut away. They don't actually show the explosion.
Yeah. Right.
You hear it, then they go back and you see it in flames. It's just they just switch the cars, I think.
Yeah, that's a TV budget there, Frank.
Yeah. Because they're in a live environment, they're right outside a house. I don't think they could do really. They had to have a very controlled explosion.
Yeah, they couldn't blow up a car in the middle of the Anyway, all right, so let's go to Richard Horn. So there's a big theory going around, which started on this podcast a few days ago and has circulated the globe, which is Richard Horn the son of Audrey and the doppelganger? And does that make Linda then the daughter of Cooper and Annie? And if that is that what the giant was referring to when he said two birds with one stone, Richard and Linda, meaning Cooper was the father of both of them theoretically? Do you think that is something that is possible, or do you think no, it's just Jerry Horn's kid and there it is?
I think that this is not possible because Audrey Horn was injured. We don't know how much, but I don't think that they could have a kid together because Cooper was not very long staying in Twin Peaks after that. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be Cooper's and Audrey's kid because Audrey was like maybe in hospital or something.
Mm-hmm.
The only
Yeah,
person
in the
that
secret-
he actually lost it. Sorry, go on, Stephanie.
That's
Sorry.
okay. I was just gonna say, in the secret history of Twin Peaks, it is kind of made clear that Audrey was very badly hurt in an explosion. So I don't know if a child would survive that or not.
Well, I mean, they didn't have sex before that, but she did have sex with John Justice Wheeler before.
That's what I was going to actually say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to bring that one up. Yeah.
But again, John Thorne, he contacted me. I don't know if you saw that, and he suggested that Richard Horn might not be Jerry or Audrey's kid, but Donna's kid, and that he took the proper name of the parent.
Well, Ben Horn got around a lot too, so you never know
Yeah.
where he was sowing his wild oats around Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Somebody could have claimed him as the father, and he would have had to cop to that maybe with a DNA test or something.
Yeah, because I can't see Audrey or Donna raising a kid like this.
No.
But then again,
No.
sometimes just kids turn bad, I guess. But
Plus, if Donna's not in the show, which she doesn't seem like she's going to be, then that would be sort of hard narratively too.
unless he's showing up to avenge his mom or something,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I kept waiting when he just grabbed that girl and was sexually assaulting her in front of the entire Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And nobody was doing anything. I kept waiting for James to show up and kick his ass.
Right. Somebody needs to.
But we just do a cutaway, and it leaves you with like this Frank Booth feeling of like, oh my God, what is this going on?
That was disturbing. Like I actually found that whole exchange, like that bothered me. I loved it, but I mean that was dark.
It was uncomfortable to watch for sure.
Yeah, and I was just like saying, "Can somebody step in?" Like, I really wanted somebody to come in, but everyone just sat and stared.
There's something weird going on because the girls don't stand up and get it in front of the booth and like, hey, what are you doing?
Yes.
They just kind of stand there. Everybody's just kind of staying around. Like Dougie, obviously Cooper is Dougie. He's got a lot of issues, but no one's taking him to the doctor. We just get Janie saying, "Oh, you're having one of your episodes." I mean, it's amazing he even got into the work building.
And if he has that reputation, if his reputation precedes him, then why would that girl ask him for a smoke to begin with? I don't understand how he gets that. How he gets shielded.
I don't understand
that
how
behavior.
I don't understand how Dougie was ever a ladies' man. I mean, he looked like crap in episode 3, and apparently every woman's throwing himself at her. Even the girls like standing outside the bathroom, like, "Hey, you want to kiss me now?" And I mean,
it's those jackets, Cameron. You got to get one of those.
Well, yeah. Well, it's a good thing she was standing watch in front of that bathroom because I kept thinking Tom Sizemore was going to go in there and kick his ass too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like the way he just goes, Dougie.
He wasn't happy with him at all.
No.
Yeah, you're back from Benderville, I think he said.
Right. Okay. So that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that up, Chad. So somebody on the Twin Peaks Worldwide page brought up the fact that he said Benderville, right? And of course, that brings up Bend, Oregon. It also brings up the fact that Laura, again in the show, said sometimes my arms bend back. So, again, it's hard to know what is real clues and what is Frost and Lynch just having fun with us. Like I mentioned on the watch along yesterday, all the 7s and all the 16s that are showing up in this show.
Yeah. And stuff like the Silver Mustang Casino makes you think of the White Horse.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So Benjamin, let me just make sure I have the right name here. Let's see here. Benjamin Oliver, he contacted me, and he threw out this theory today that I threw it out on the Twin Peaks Worldwide page, and it's just moving. It's just like, sometimes you just make a post and all of a sudden you just see it, 55 shares just immediately start happening. And that's one of these. And that is, he brought up the idea that the man who comes in episode 1 to talk to Sheriff Truman, to Lucy, who's the insurance agent, could be the real Dougie Jones, because his body type matches the body that was found in the bed. And obviously they found Janie's wedding ring in his stomach. Now, that only would make sense if the Vegas Rancho Rosa timeline exists on a different timeline than the Twin Peaks timeline. I don't know.
That's interesting.
So I don't know. I mean, he never says his name. We never get a shot of the business card, and his credit in the show is man in suit. Talk about Lynch and Frost, not showing us their cards.
Did he have a Dougie-esque jacket on in that first scene with Lucy?
No, but I also think that remember, Janie is the one that pulls out that suit. It's not, it's not Cooper Dougie's choice either. So maybe she's trying to make him unattractive to all the ladies. I don't know, but it's interesting because where this is going to connect is the fact that Jade mailed the Great Northern Key back.
Yep.
That will explain when they get the key, because if they get the key and it turns out that they get the key and it's 10 years before Hawk is investigating this again, we'll know. But that,
just an aside on the key, I didn't really like the touch where it said clean rooms reasonably priced. That was a little cheesy.
I think that speaks to the fact that this is, I don't know if this place is real or not, because that key is actually, I have that key that you can buy those on Etsy, and many of them are wearing the rings, but they're not actually the Owl Cave rings. They look like craft work. So I just found that weird that, as you said, clean rooms, reasonable priced, and then several people are wearing the Owl Cave rings. It looks like they're using stuff that we buy off the internet instead of like the real legit props.
Yeah, because the Coop said that it wasn't the slogan of the Great Northern, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, that might be another showing that this could be a figmentation in Cooper's mind. This whole place could not even exist. I mean,
that's kind of where I was going with it in my mind, because as soon as I saw the Rancho Rosa, I know everybody saw the double R, but I looked up Saint Rose of Lima, who was a young, very pretty girl who wanted to become a nun. And every year they hold a big food festival for her, and they hold it on August 23rd. And then I went into Laura Palmer's diary, and on August 23rd, that's when she said she wanted to start the Meals on Wheels program at the Double R. So,
and remember, she died on the 24th of February, or the night of the 23rd into the 24th morning. So
I was just kind of thinking that this whole place could be somewhere else because of the reference in Fire Walk with Me. She's preparing a great abundance of food. This Saint Rose actually has a food festival on August 23rd, and in Laura's diary, she starts the Meals on Wheels program at the Double R on August 23rd as well. So I have no idea what any of that means, but you're just surfing through books and pages trying to make these connections.
Yeah, and I pulled out this book. Do you remember this?
Yes, that's the worst book ever, Hal.
It's the worst book ever, but there is that. I know it is. It's completely crap, but there is this one thing about the Twin Peaks Passion Play that they refer to throughout the book, and it has this weird thing about how it's an annual thing for the people of Twin Peaks. And it talks about how it's of uncertain date and origin. It continues to evolve and is a profoundly moving ceremony. They gather around the great firs in Glastonbury Grove, and from the shadows, half a dozen cassocked figures emerge bearing sword, chrysanthemums, crucifixes, and chalices, and there appears the mysterious guardian of the gate. To this day, no one knows where the guardian comes from or why it appears. Mystery also surrounds the sponsors of the event, but rumors suggest the ultra-secret Bookhouse Boys. So, what is that about?
Hal, did you say cassocks? car sick.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, they make a big deal. And throughout this guide that everybody says, like when they give things that you should see if you're visiting Twin Peaks, everybody mentions the Passion Play. So it's like it was a thing that at some point was a plan, but who knows how it ties into the new season.
And honestly, what is up with all these red balloons everywhere and red balls? They're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're in pictures hanging on the wall. They're in people's houses. They're outside of Cooper's work. There's 6 of them right out there. There's red chairs everywhere.
There's a bunch of balloons in the window on in Fire Walk with Me in the Missing Pieces. As they're leaving Hap's Diner, there's a bundle of balloons floating in the window as well. Sorry to cut you off, but
No, it's fine. I'm scared to death Pennywise is going to show up. I mean, anything's possible. So yeah, it's.
Do you think they were kind of either a throwback to remind you of the Red Room, but there's some presence there for the Red Room, because they look like they're kind of guiding Cooper a little bit when he's at the statue. You see them above
right
thing behind the statue, don't they? There's a few of them on this plinth or something,
right?
And he's pointing and he's following that direction. I don't know.
I just want to say one thing, Frank. There's a green light on you right now, so you're lying. It's funny. I got yelled at after I did my initial video because I was eating dinner while I was watching the episode, and I looked down at my ravioli when I took a bite, and that happened. That happened when the green light went on his face. When I looked up, and he said Cooper said he was lying. I was like, okay, obviously his intuition's there, but I missed the green light, and I got people out there calling me out, going, you're such a Twin Peaks fan, you didn't see the green light. Sorry, I glanced down for a second to eat my ravioli, so I saw it on the rewatch, guys. I saw it on the rewatch.
But what do you think? What do you think are the connections with Evil Cooper and in the prison cell with the phone call, and then of course we've got Dougie, who was literally birthed through an electrical socket and now can has some sort of affinity or control of machinery. What do you think that connection is there, where they both seem to have a physical control of machinery and electricity?
Well, I think obviously if Cooper had gone out through the cigarette lighter, all would probably be restored, but he didn't. So, okay. So Stephanie, does this come into the theory you heard about?
Yes,
okay,
yes, it does, about the cream corn.
Yeah, so talk about this. This is fascinating, guys. Go ahead.
Okay, so the theory is that the cream corn present in the Dark Lodge or the Black Lodge the chaos or their
pain and sorrow,
power. Yeah, and when the doppelganger threw up the cream corn, he lost something of himself in doing that. So, which is why he was sort of off into prison, why he was mixing up nowadays time and the Dark Lodge, where he was talking backwards at parts. So it kind of mixed it all together because he's off because he lost that part of himself when he threw all that.
And because he threw it up, that could be why him and Bob have that conversation of, "Are you still with me, or did I throw up that part of you too?"
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
That
he lost himself.
See, I think there could be something there as well.
Yeah, because he was really, really trying to hold it in. He did not want to throw that garment up.
Yeah, I think you said in your email, Stephanie, that he lost his mojo.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And
but I do think that Cooper as Dougie, unless there's some sort of, something where someone puts on a ring and all gets restored. The thing that scares me the most is that he's going to have to go back through the lodges to get out because he, came out one way. So that could be where this gray room with the giant comes into play, that he has to pass through there. I don't know, because I can't see him just going from Rancho Rosa, Vegas area to Twin Peaks and all is back to normal. I don't know.
In the last trailer we got before the premiere, there was a scene which Cooper was walking down a hallway or something.
Right. With the one-armed man.
Yeah. So maybe that's the scene. I don't know.
And we all do know about the scene that TMZ showed off, right? That behind the scenes footage of our agent and one Cheryl Lee together outside of Laura's house. And we don't know if that's Laura or another character, but obviously that scene is going to play at some point in the series, unless they shot that just to troll us again. Maybe that scene's not even in the show. Maybe they just did it to make people go crazy. I don't know. Also, that little brief scene that kept popping up in the trailers of, that recurring one with Cooper walking out of the darkness. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've seen that yet. Or him in the suit driving the car, kind of looking paranoid.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
So
also the scene which Cameron, you talked once that someone had told you that like Cooper was looking into the woods. James' motorcycle was there. He was like,
again, I don't know if that's real or not.
Okay.
That was fragments of things that we were told that we could share, and the next thing I know, people from the production were like, "Shh, you shouldn't talk about that kind of stuff." And I don't know if that's true or whether they just didn't want just wild speculation being thrown out there. Because I've had people ask me, "What do you think that means?" I have no clue. I mean, if someone had told me that in this series so far, Agent Cooper was going to be in outer space and go through electrical outlets, I wouldn't even know how to piece that together and explain that to anybody. So anyway, all right, joining us, we have Chaz, who is making his first appearance back since the premiere date. Welcome.
Hey, Cameron, how you doing?
Ooh, that's loud.
Again. Hang on. How's this?
It's getting better.
Better?
Yeah, it's getting a little better. Yeah.
All right, sorry.
I feel like David Lynch right now. Albert.
Yeah.
It's like a knife. That's a knife into my brain.
Exactly. I
love Gordon.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've said this before, but David Lynch in that episode, I mean, you can tell that I've always liked him as Gordon, but he's actually giving a very layered performance in this show.
Right.
It's not
that was fantastic.
Absolutely great.
That whole discussion with I mean, no matter where he is, who's having discussion, but that whole scene with Albert is so perfectly played. And it doesn't seem like a director, just throwing himself in there for a cameo. It's a real performance.
That scene with Albert, when you watch it again, because he says his name 3 times. At first, it's like a reaction to what Albert's saying about the agent in where was it, Colombia, that got killed after he gave the information. So he goes, Albert, like he's processing that. And then there's this long pause, and he's looking directly at Albert, almost like he's trying to psychically read him. And he's like, Albert. Like he's trying to, like he's getting into his mind. If you really watch that again, it seems like there's something there on that third Albert.
Yeah, there's definitely something there besides the pan down to Tamara Preston's butt.
Well, there's that. But I think one of the best parts, my favorite part, aside from the butt, my favorite part in that was when Albert is affirming everything Gordon is saying, but he's doing it in a yes or a no. He's like, I don't think this is right. It's like, no. He's like, there's something wrong with him. He's like, yes. And it's just, he's affirming, but he's just constantly going back and saying yes and no. I thought that was just masterful. I love that. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole new series.
I think Miguel Ferrer playing that is he's nervous as to what the implications could be for his own character, because he doesn't quite realize maybe, I mean, he could be in real jeopardy here, not just career-wise, but life-wise.
I remember reading an interview with Kyle MacLachlan, and he said, when he and Gordon have scenes together, they crack each other up. And he goes, but to be honest with you, when David is Gordon, he's way more focused than I am as an actor. So that was an interesting comment from Kyle.
Well, because David's not an actor. He's trying to. But I mean, there's he's had a number of scenes in this new show, because remember Robert Nevins, the head of Showtime, he said that Lynch, Gordon Cole was going to play a major role in this new series. And he's doing a really wonderful job. I think a lot of people are. Chaz, you haven't been on here in a while, so what's your takeaway so far from the first 5 episodes? Are you digging this, or are you like some of the other people? Are you jumping ship?
No, I am completely on board. I think it's those first 4 episodes. being able to watch them continuously, best 4 hours of TV I think I've ever seen. Now I say that, but I remember watching the finale of season 2 and saying that's probably the best, hour of TV I've ever seen. So I think it's brilliant, and I didn't expect anything less. You know how big a Lynch fan I am. I mean, you know how much I love Inland Empire as well.
I'm ejecting you from the call right now.
Yeah, I know. Pretty much, I mean, Lynch's voice to me, no matter what he brings, I've always got that. So I've got that in the back of my head, like what he's doing. And I always try to keep that in mind when he's doing it. Even when I saw like Straight Story, that came right after Lost Highway, right?
Right.
In between Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive. When he did Straight Story, I was like, what is Lynch doing? And I still go back and watch it, and I think it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
So anytime Lynch is bringing something, he's probably the only director I can think of who I have complete faith in, no matter what.
Yeah,
I think that this is an incredible journey that we're going on. Look at everything that we're all talking about. Like, all you can do with this series is like speculate. There are no answers.
True.
5 episodes in.
right. And
There's only question marks.
And the best thing about it is I can't tell you what's going to happen in the next episode. Or, I mean, by episode 9 or 10, we could be on the moon for all I know. I mean,
Dude, the spoilers are in the freaking credits. You know what I mean?
what do you mean?
You're reading the end credits of each episode, and you're like, holy shit, that's what happened in the episode.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're seeing that what's his name at the bar at the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
His last name is Horn, and you're like, okay, so the credits are giving me that information.
Right.
I mean, that's mind blowing. The giant is a question mark now.
Right.
What? Okay.
But now some people have brought up the fact that the question mark, and because it was black and white, could be a reference to Boris Karloff in the first Frankenstein because he was credited as question mark.
Guess what? I believe it. I believe everything.
Yeah.
it's all in there, yeah.
But
I
think,
actually thought. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I just think that the first show was like this too, where they wanted you to go into Vertigo and Laura and and all these other movies, not so much to give away clues, but just to have fun. I mean, it's so silly to say this, but I discovered West Side Story because of my love for Twin Peaks, because of Richard Beamer and Russ Tamblyn together. It made me check out West Side Story. It's now one of my favorite films. So I think they just wanted to bring a love of cinema to us as well. And, Twin Peaks for many people is a gateway drug to that. They found Blue Velvet because of Twin Peaks, and things like that. So,
well, Lynch does that, right? Like his Lynch has cited his favorite film is, what is it?
Is it Wonderful Life? Was it
the satire on Hollywood?
Sunset Boulevard.
Oh,
yes, Sunset Boulevard.
Sunset Boulevard.
So he's always bringing that, that kind of. I mean, we know that he is not a big fan of the system, and that's one thing that I haven't heard many people talking about. We've all heard all of these theories about, like the analogy between. They're watching the box in the first episode,
right.
And that's like you're watching the TV, and Twin Peaks is gone, and then the network. We all know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, what if the whole series is his hatred for the system?
Right.
And what if? And I wouldn't put it past Lynch. What if nothing happens? Like, seriously,
No, man.
I would fall in love even more.
Yeah, it's just everything is
Everything's a joke.
well, we're
everything's entropy. It's just all falling apart.
That's
It's
Lynch,
just all
man.
crumbling.
Everything's a joke.
Yeah.
He did that with Dr. Jacoby Shovels. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he completely trolled us all, and I love it.
Yeah, he got us there. But I mean, I tried to mentally prepare myself for the lack of resolution because after the end of season 2, then Fire Walks with Me, I was like, I don't know, 18 or 19. So I go to the theater and I'm like, all right, going to find out what happened to Cooper, going to get all this resolution. And I walked out 100 times more confused than I
But
walked
you-
in.
I guess you didn't know it was a prequel.
But we did
Yeah,
get
yes.
resolution. But we did get resolution.
I got 0.
Yes, because I mean, like I said, we did get resolution to Cooper because going into Fire Walk with Me, I was always under the horrifying realization that Cooper had been possessed by Bob, when in reality, Fire Walk with Me lets us know that no, only the bad side got out. So that gives you comfort that Cooper is still Cooper.
Well,
So-
I might have got that on my 50th viewing, but I mean, being honest, coming out of the theater, I was steaming mad, and like I was pretty upset with it and didn't like it initially, and now I actually like it in many ways far more than the series.
Now, I will say that this new series, I mean, listen, I really love Fire Walk with Me. I have issues with it, but I really do love that film. But I think this new series makes Fire Walk with Me look better and better, because it's dealing with a lot of loose ends that were left from Fire Walk with Me. So now it's putting Fire Walk with Me into a proper context. Now Philip Jeffries isn't just a minute-long David Bowie cameo. It now has context, or hopefully, I mean, if anything, they're dealing with the character more, right? The fact that the Owl Cave ring is coming back. I mean, Lynch said that Fire Walk with Me was going to play a factor in this, but I do think that a lot of the stuff that people complained about initially with Fire Walk with Me, now people will go back and watch it after this new show and be like, oh, well, I like it because it's dealing with all the stuff that the new show was talking about as well. So I think it makes it look better and better and better.
Lynch was quoted as saying that the original series is part of the puzzle. Fire Walk with Me is another piece of the puzzle. This is another piece of the puzzle.
But I also think, I've had people say to me, I don't feel Mark Frost's influence on this new show, and I completely disagree. I think you can totally tell that they're working together, because the surreal pieces that are coming in are perfectly placed. It's not. It doesn't just feel like Lynch is just going crazy. They're seeing. I mean, look at Dr. Jacoby's speech as Dr. Amp. I mean, that's definitely a Mark Frost kind of touch. Yeah, and it works brilliantly.
There's structure to the whole thing. We just can't see it yet because it's not fully formed.
Yeah.
Right. And again, it's like, we're still discovering new things. I mean, if that insurance salesman that shows up in episode 1 to talk to Lucy, if that is the real Dougie Jones, then that takes an ordinary scene that people didn't give 2 shits about the first time they saw it. It now wakes them up.
Holy crap. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. See? Right? Because you don't really think much about it. And I think that episode 1, some people complain because it was so slow or that type of thing. But yeah, I know. Not us. I'm talking about casual people out there. But I think that whole Sam and Tracy thing, you're going to look back at it and be like, oh, okay. Like everything was placed for a reason there. The Ben and Jerry scene that just shows up out of nowhere in episode 1 will probably be placed in a context at some point.
It's like that old saying, life has to be lived forward, but can only be understood backwards.
See, that's another thing that I was going towards about Lynch kind of, hey, doggy.
That's a very Lynchian touch right now.
But Lynch maybe being very, very cynical. Like, he's cutting to Twin Peaks every once in a while, right? And giving you these old characters. And most of them are in a different state. I mean, not just that they're older, but they're... Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Somebody just vanished.
Oh. That's part of the fun of live videos.
So is he, I wouldn't put it past Lynch just giving you like these little pieces of Twin Peaks every now and then, like these old characters. And that's all you get. I mean, who knows, right?
I think it's going to have a bit more emotional payoff than that, but I like. I think in the second half it will start to coalesce into more of a Twin Peaks groove, and there'll be some sort of resolution there at the end. I just think it's an extended, delicious tease, man, that's going to pay off in a big way at some point.
Yeah, of course it is, no matter what.
In this 5th episode, also the music came back a little bit more.
I heard that.
The
Badalamenti score, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a bit more of it coming through.
Yeah, when he was walking to the elevator. And that's
It's like Twin Peaks is seeping back in slowly, just like Dougie is. Those little things are seeping back into Coop.
Right. All right, so let's see here. We got. Let's see. We got wild dogs in the background over here, and let's see.
Makes me think of that scene in Blue Velvet with the dog yapping.
Okay, so this comes from
Mr. Armstrong.
Whose dog is that?
It's mine.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to mute. I'm trying to mute. I'm trying to mute your microphone so we don't pick it up because it's kind of echoing through. But we'll try. We'll see what happens there. Okay. Famatico. He wanted us to discuss. How did Tamara Preston know that the doppelganger, or Cooper is in her mind, was heading somewhere else other than Philadelphia? And how many people did he make physically ill because we only saw that one policeman get sick? And she says many people are getting sick around him. So did people in the prison start, going sick as well? And
if they're examining the vomit, then they might be in the lab, getting sick from it.
True.
She even says to Albert, doesn't she, when they come outside after seeing Bad Coop, "Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling all right, Albert?" If he maybe was getting some kind of effect from Bad Coop being in his presence.
Right. And I also want people to remember that Bad Cooper, or Doppelganger, whatever, Bob, he may be in the prison, but he wants to be there. Let's not forget that, because he downloaded the schematics for the prison when he found out Ray was in that prison. And he knows that Ray got the coordinates from whoever, and he needs to get to Ray somehow in that prison. So,
the scene that the Bad Cooper says Mr. Strawberry, the policeman over there starts like panicking or something. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yes, it's almost like Bad Cooper said, "I'm going to make the phone call. Oh, I'll call Mr. Strawberry," to sort of put the cop on edge, going, "Oh, how does he know that about me? It's some hidden secret."
There was no reference there, right? That's brand new material, right?
Yeah, and the other thing is that I had someone in the chat on the first night say that he felt that, again, Strawberry, according to him, was a code name in law enforcement for prostitute or male prostitute, and that would definitely make him a little bit on edge if he's like, "Am I gonna call your lover?" and expose you? I don't know.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, again, and I've mentioned this too, that Lynch is just a way of taking names that are just ordinary and nice sounding, like Mr. Strawberry, Mr. Reindeer, and making them sound horrible.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Make them sound sinister, yeah.
Exactly.
Let's see.
We there?
Yeah, we're here.
All right, what do we got, Cameron? Give me something.
Give you something. All right. Let's see.
So I'll throw something out since we were talking about the end credits earlier. And we know that Phoebe Augustine, everybody's assuming that's Ronette Pulaski, but the credits say American Girl.
I was going to bring that up.
Should we assume that that's Ronette Pulaski?
I don't think so.
Because why wouldn't they just list her as Ronette?
That's right.
Because maybe in that reality, she's not Ronette.
That's right, too.
Why choose that actress, though, to be in the series?
Well, only David knows that.
That room, is everyone thinking also that was supposed to be Josie?
No.
Yes.
The Asian woman with the eyes?
She's mentioned as like Nido.
Right.
But, I've just had a lot of people theorize with me as well that they think it could be Judy. Because the fact is we don't talk about Judy, and then the fact is Judy was supposed to be Josie Packard's sister in the Fire Walk with Me sequel, and she's barking a lot like those parents in Lynch's film The Grandmother.
I still like that she might be the magician who longs to see.
I like that too. All right, who do we have with us? We have Danny from Germany, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Welcome.
Hey, man.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you. Very
Hey, Danny.
Hi.
Good
So
crowd.
Germany gets got episode 5 a day early.
A
Were
week
you
earlier.
able to see it a day early or
A week earlier.
a
What?
week?
Wow.
I guess when Showtime, showed episode. Sorry for my English. When Showtime showed episode 3 and 4, right? 1 hour later, we got episode 5
What?
on demand.
And
Well,
what about episode 6? Did you get
I
it?
was-
It's not fair.
I was so freaking out, and I wrote Cameron that he was so right.
Was that
No,
you? That was
I
you?
wasn't. I wasn't. I wrote you were so right, and it was about that Bob thing.
Yes.
I
I was.
really, right when he was in prison and look in the mirror, I thought, okay, bad Coop is look into a mirror. This is a Twin Peaks mirror thing, and now we will get this scene.
Love it.
I was so impressed when his mouth was,
Yes.
morphed.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
All my hairs stand up, and this was so great. And I thought, okay, nobody else here in Germany I could talk about, and I just thought, okay, write Cameron and say, yo man, you are so right, because sorry for that, but I don't remember the name he was discussed about. Cameron said, no, this is just Bob inside Coop, and the other guy said, no, this is real Coop, and Bob is leaving, and inside him, and Cameron said no.
Well, I'm told I never understood why anyone disagreed with that.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you watch the last episode of season 2?
I don't know.
It's so obvious.
I don't get it.
This
I don't
is so
either.
clear. When he smashes his head in the mirror, you realize, okay, this is the evil doppelganger, and Bob is inside him. And this is so great. Hey, this is one thing I want to say, because I don't know how long my connection here is. I am so grateful, and I'm so thankful for this community, because this is not even longer a community. This is a family. This is a real big Twin Peaks family all around the world. And I'm so thankful for it. Thank you.
Here.
Oh, guys.
I think you should just speak German from now on, so we make it a very Lynchian. So that
Subtitle it. Yeah.
Backwards German.
there you go.
Ich bin so
Nice.
dankbar dafür, wieder in Twin Peaks sein zu können.
I get Google Translate, Cameron, and then put the subtitles on the right way around later on.
Ich möchte ein Garmin Bosia, bitte.
There's one thing I or everybody else in Germany did not understand until today. This twist about David Lynch and Michael J. Anderson. This tree thing is absolutely great, but this little dwarf, what happened?
Well, Michael J. Anderson kind of went crazy and started putting all this disparaging stuff online after he was negotiated out of the new series, probably due to his own bad behavior based on his behavior after the fact. So it was a logistical thing where they couldn't cast him. So like Lynch has said, necessity is the mother of invention. So hence the evolution of the arm. He's now a tree with a head on it.
Such a great evolution. You know, I love it. I really.
Yeah.
But of course that has made people think about, well, if you can evolve into a tree, right? Then you that means when you die, you evolve into a spirit. A spirit can move into the Black Lodge, and then from there you can either age or evolve into something else. So now that they've brought this up, now does that mean that Laura could evolve into something else? I mean, or what? I mean,
that's an interesting concept that you can actually evolve in the Black Lodge.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So
Also kind of explains the aging process in there a bit as well.
Right.
Kind of way to get around that,
Well, I think that when Laura's looking at Cooper in the Black Lodge now, and she's older, she looks very distraught and upset at him. Like you were supposed to get out of here and save me or rescue me, and I'm still here 25 years later. She looks very irritated with him.
So I don't. There's more of a stern face on her, doesn't she? She's not that kind of more playful version she was in the dream sequence with him and stuff. There's definitely a difference.
Right.
He is also
and then remember Leland's imperative to find Laura, and she kind of was whooshed away. I wonder, where that's going.
But
Where
is that the real Laura, or is that potentially the Doppel Laura? And I know that was supposed to be resolved in Fire Walk with Me, but the idea of somebody wanting to be with Bob again, I was thinking that could possibly be the Doppel Laura. And if you're thinking, when he talks about Richard and Linda, if you look at the lyrics to Richard and Linda Shoot Out the Lights, it's about, we used to be hot and heavy when we were 17, electricity, light the fire, let's get back together, shoot out the lights. So I was like, I wonder if that's actually the Doppel version of Laura trying to get back with Bob, based on that Richard and Linda statement and Richard and Linda song.
Yeah, Richard and Linda Thompson. Yeah, I thought of that too when those names came up.
Yeah, like the lyrics are all about, hot, fiery love when you're 17 years old. And, even when she's talking to Jacoby, she's like, this guy really likes my FIRE. So I'm like, I wonder if that is the evil version of Laura wanting to be back with Bob again, who's speaking, pretending to be Philip Jeffries in episode 1.
Well, whatever she whispered in his ear, Cooper did not like it one little bit.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was taken aback for sure.
Did you? I came in a half hour late. Did you guys talk about Shelley's daughter and
only the fact that they were married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shelley alluded that to her daughter in episode 1, right? At the Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, do you think she's going to be the new Laura Palmer that all the websites have dubbed her as?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe she'll go through some of the same situations. Maybe she is going through some similar situations. But I mean, who's another Laura Palmer? There isn't.
Well, the other thing is that Frost and Lynch have been doing so well, like subverting every single person's expectations with this show. Yeah. I would be surprised if they just went, like someone said to me the other day, well, I think this show is building up to Cooper versus Cooper, and then we're going to get a big fight at the end. And I said, well, that's too normal. We're not going to get that. If anything, we're going to get something out of Scanners or something with them just blowing each other's heads up or something.
Totally agree.
Now I'm trying to while you guys are talking, just so you know, I'm trying to work this out because I have to manually go from camera to camera. It's not doing it by itself.
You don't have randomized?
Okay.
No, but we were talking earlier about wouldn't it be cool if YouTube, the Google Apps, whatever, had this thing where someone could speak another language into their mic and then it would be subtitled across the screen. That would be amazing.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Real-time translator. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Maybe Dr. Jacoby will invent that next after the shovels.
Dr. Amp.
I'm glad you brought that
He's a
up.
pioneer.
Cameron, did you ever talk about the gold aspect that we talked about?
Why don't you go into that? I mean, I have before a little bit, but go ahead and touch in that.
I find it really interesting. I had mentioned this to Cameron also, and I don't think you remember there ever being a reference to this in the series, but there's a lot of references to gold in this new series, where it almost is acting as a transportation device, or like a way to travel. Now I'm trying to remember when I talked to you about it.
Well, there was there was the gold ring, the gold marble, the fact that the first DVD collection was called the gold box.
Exactly.
The gold shovels.
You mean
And
like
gold is
the electricity?
Gold is conductive electricity, right? So that's kind of being pulled into play now here, where I think it actually means something, where it has something to, like, there's this weird thing that I was thinking that maybe Jacoby is, and this is before episode 5, I thought, is painting these shovels gold to like dig up Laura's remains. And that's why she just disappeared out of nowhere. So like he dug her up with the gold shovel and then boom, she disappeared. But probably not.
Well, but I like what Chaz is putting down, because if you go back about a year ago, when David Lynch was doing the Festival of Disruption, he had a doorway arch, and it was gold, and it says infuse the machine with gold. And then he has another lithograph that actually shows that same doorway arch with smoke coming out the top, and it's called Mr. Jim's Machine. So about a year ago, I was like all amped up. I was like, this is going to all be about gold, and there's going to be some sort of machine that's going to be a doorway that has some sort of, I've got the images saved here, but where he talks about Mr. Jim, and then Sonny Jim shows up, and then like you said, Jacoby's got the gold shovels. Dougie, the Dougpa, turns into a gold ball.
Right.
It's like it's littered everywhere. And it's so cool. And I'm looking back at his previous works of art and other pieces of film to try to make the connection. And I spent, a couple of days watching. There's actually quite a few references to gold in Fire Walk With Me, where they're looking for that. Well, I don't know. I probably projected them there. But, they're out there looking for the green and gold ring. They go to the Fat Trout Trailer Park, and in his left hand, he's holding a green mug and a gold coffee mug, Carl Rod. And it's just kind of, there's something there. I know, Chaz, you're right on the money. There's something there. I just don't know what it is.
Well,
and I've been searching.
The thing that really hit me when I mentioned it to Cameron, I was thinking about all this gold stuff, and then I looked at my my DVD collection, and I went, it's the freaking gold box DVD. Like, it's gotta mean something, right?
Yeah.
And you talked about gold and green. Dougie's jackets, gold and green.
Yeah. Yes. Oh wow.
And don't forget too that, I mean, even Wild at Heart, they keep referencing the Yellow Brick Road.
Well, yeah.
Just saying. There's themes that he just keeps exploring again and again and again, to the point when you see Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks, I mean, you think Blue Velvet is the prequel. I mean, it almost plays like a prequel to Twin Peaks, even though it's not.
Yeah.
I heard somebody else say about Dougie's jackets, just to go back to that for a second, that when the gold one, and he throws up the Garmin Bosia, and now that he's kind of Coop re-emerging as a baby, now he's got green, like he's green, green and naive, and so that might have been some.
But when I saw that
picture,
of him wearing the green jacket, it terrified me, because in My Life, My Tapes, Cooper says he finds the first dead body he ever sees, and it's a man wearing a green jacket. Oh, there it is. He's wearing a green jacket, tan pants, and brown shoes, and he owed gambling money, and he's found face down, stabbed in the neck. And soon as Dougie shows up wearing, well, not Dougie, but as soon as Cooper puts on Dougie's clothes, I'm like, well, this is it. He's gonna die, but I don't know. It's freaking me out, because there's so many Mark Frost references and Scott Frost references and Jennifer Lynch references in this series. Like, it's making my head spin. It's awesome.
Well, what made my head spin was I had someone write me the other day saying that he feels this series is moving towards a love relationship between Cooper and Tamara Preston, and I just want to say I would throw up if that happened.
Well, Garmonbozia and scorched engine oil.
Yeah, I will literally puke up cream corn live on YouTube if that happens.
That would be great though if they got together and they were eating cream corn out of like a champagne glass.
Yeah. Well, the reason
smothering it all over themselves, and then Laura Dern walks in.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, you know,
comes in and kicks everyone's ass.
But I think that's why I grooved to the idea of if Richard Horn was the son of Audrey and the doppelganger, because
I'm not buying it.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is I would love it so much because it would give the fans everything they wanted. Hey,
Yeah.
Cooper and Audrey hooked up. But no, they didn't.
Not in a good way.
Right, in a twisted way.
No, I still think it's Jerry's.
You do?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Because he kind of
the
looks like
Audrey
Jerry.
thing, that's too weird, man. Like, even for Lynch, no way. Audrey was like in the hospital.
But
dude.
you know what's weird is Don S. Davis has died, you know, and yet there's a possibility that is his decapitated corpse in a bed. So, you know.
That's true.
I hope that's not true.
But
I just don't see Lynch doing something like that. It's not. It's like a taste thing for him.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
But here's the reason why I suspect it, if it did happen, is because Sherilyn Fenn was very, very vocal on Twitter about that she was dissatisfied with the role they gave her.
After filming.
True.
Yeah, she was smart.
She was probably dissatisfied because she had like a day of shooting. That's probably why.
Right. Or we may see her, you know, maimed or mutilated.
Oh, I would guess so, right?
Yeah. So maybe she didn't like the makeup or the prosthetics or the something that she had to wear to make herself look not as attractive as she wanted to.
But it's interesting because if she is looking like that because of the bomb blast, then it does make you wonder why Entertainment Weekly was like glamming her up then, you know, for the photo shoot. Is that another way of Lynch and Frost kind of trolling the audience a little bit?
I'm wondering if it was a, you know, diversion or that was how they kind of paid her back by saying, well, you can do this some pre-publicity, as the old Audrey.
Just press.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is that all the press that we got building up to this, what little there was, like the Entertainment Weekly, you know, cover shoots and all that stuff, the show that they were advertising is not the show we've gotten at all.
No, not at all.
They made it sound like we were going to go back to Twin Peaks and it was just going to be Badalamenti score and we were just going to be, you know, in the Great Northern, the Double R Diner, and we're maybe in Twin Peaks 3 minutes an episode, and that's why I think some people.
I love it.
Are not liking it, whereas I'm just kind of like they're really pushing, you know, just they're taking us out of our comfort zone. They're showing us more of the world, you know, and I so far I love it, and because when we do go to Twin Peaks, it's wonderful. The only thing that throws me is the fact that they went back and shot in the real locations, right? Because like the Double R Diner, that is the real, you know, Tweed's Cafe. And they used that in the pilot, but of course in season 1 and season 2 it was a set, and those booths are very different in the set than they were in reality. So, you know, so Norma's sitting at the booth. There is no ledge, you know, with the plants and the cookie jars, so Margaret could spit her pitch into and stuff like that. So that's the only thing that throws me. It's like, okay, we went back to the real location, so it feels more like the pilot and Fire Walk with Me than the series, because of that. So. But I mean,
they have to have a little remodeling done in 25 years.
No, but even like Ben Horn's office, right? It is laid out exactly like it is in the show, but because it's a real location, not a set, everything's clear together. The back door is closer to Ben Horn's
shot.
Yeah, right. The back door is closer to Ben Horn's desk. The front, door that Leland would come in all the time is much closer to the desk. You know, it's not the one, because when they show it in the series, it looks like a huge office.
Yeah.
You know, so
I wonder if we got a look at Harold Smith's apartment in this new one. How could it look like? Like in the Firewalk with Me, it was like nothing like the original.
It looks horrible. It looks like someone set up a stage play and said, all right, come in for the day. Because Harold Smith's apartment in the show is one of the most atmospheric, moody places in the whole show. And Fire Walk with Me, there's no sign of him doing anything with flowers or anything. It looks like
there was 0 orchids in Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah, exactly. But every time they go back to the sheriff's station and they're showing Andy and Hawk there, I keep saying, damn it, look in that diary. It's sitting right in front of you, Hawk. I mean, if Laura did write Annie's warning in there, it's going to be in there. And even if Harold Smith ripped up the diary, it's like Cooper says, you know, putting the pieces together, there's got to be something in there.
Well, and you know what? The station is tightly shot too so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
they haven't even walked through the station really. They're just going room to room, right?
And also when they walk in, they just walk in the door and there's Lucy's desk. Whereas in the show, they had that little foyer area before they walked in. Again, it's using the real locations. But what do we think of the fact that this Truman, which by the way, I'm so happy he's playing the brother and not Harry. I think that's why audiences and fans are grooving more to Robert Forster's performance, because we're not saying, oh, he's not Michael Onkeen, because he's not supposed to be Michael Onkeen, Right. Two things. One is I really do feel like we're heading towards Sheriff Truman, real Harry S. Truman cameo. Yeah. I think we're going to get
that. Would be awesome.
The reason why is because if they just mentioned that he was sick at the beginning, okay, I get it, but they keep bringing him up in the narrative, and he's making phone calls, and so I don't know. To me, it's like they're really making a point of bringing him into the narrative. And the other thing, but the thing that throws me the most is the fact that this Truman has a whole operation working in the back room. And I know people have said, well, there's been other deputies in the past, but not like this.
No.
Okay. And I'm wondering if he's keeping Andy, Lucy, and Hawk around because they were Harry's guys, but he's got his own operation back there. Or if, I don't know, maybe there's something, or maybe he just doesn't think that they're up to the task and they can't really do anything. So he's got his own thing going on.
The way he looks at them, it gives the vibe that he doesn't take them seriously too much,
Good.
The way he looks at Lucy, Andy, or Hawk, he's like always, okay. He doesn't give his opinion about things.
Yeah, and if you notice,
trust there, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you notice the sign when you're going from the policing area to where Lucy is, it's like no cell phones beyond this point. So it's almost like nobody can bring a cell phone out where Lucy is. And you'd think it would be the other way, that no cell phones in where there's possibly incriminating evidence or anything of the like. You can't bring them out in the foyer in front of Lucy, which I thought was kind of funny.
Do we think that Wally Brando will come back?
No.
That was just a one-time performance.
So I feel that way about Dennis Denise too. I think that maybe was just a one-time cameo.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but I don't know. I think Wally Brando might come back.
And the reason why I think he might be is because of this whole timeline that just doesn't match up. The fact that
action, yeah,
because she's supposed to be pregnant at the time of the Miss Twin Peaks pageant, and he's supposed to be born the next month, and she's not even showing. So does that mean that she lost the first baby and that they had another baby the next year? Because they talk about, don't they say something about like the Cooper hadn't seen him in 24 years or something like that? So
yeah,
there's some weird timeline thing going on, and the fact that the picture behind her desk has to be the worst Photoshopped family picture I've ever seen. Now that's either them just having fun with those kind of things that they do in shows, or maybe they created that picture to give the illusion that they've always been a family.
Now maybe he won't come back. Maybe Michael Cera won't come back, but maybe Wally Brando will come back up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
In the scene with Denise, did anyone notice when she does like this? The scene is like the ones in Black Lodge. It's kind of reverse kind of thing. Did anyone notice that?
No.
I think it was just a hormonal thing.
No, because she looks this way and again goes back. I don't know. Just take a look at it later. Maybe you'll notice something. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to have another look at that. I didn't notice that.
I'm still convinced that Tamara and Gordon Cole are in a relationship together, though. Until I see otherwise. Some people are telling me that she's looking longingly at Dale Cooper's picture, like she wants to get with him. But I don't know. For first experience of seeing him in the prison like that, then I I don't know. That'd be cool if she had like an affair with Bob. That would be awesome if Tamara turned to the dark side or something.
That would be cool.
I don't think she was looking longingly at those mug shots. I think she was just comparing contrasting the good Coop and the bad Coop and going, how did he get to this point? You know?
Well, and also if you look at those pictures carefully, the doppelganger's fingerprints are flipped from Dale's.
That's what it was, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They were reversed, right?
Right. Now, that's what I thought. Yeah, because that's what I thought too. And then I thought, well, maybe the doppelganger's prints were turning up as Major Briggs's, fingerprints. But but on reflection and looking back, it does look like it's just backwards, and that somehow he, but I've had other people say to me that they think maybe he was like doing manufactured Major Briggs. Like maybe all the Dougie stuff and everything like that. Like they all, whenever he manufactured somebody, if he did multiple, maybe they all had Major Briggs fingerprints. Because I mean, for them to be turning up.
And I don't know if this was brought up, but I mean, I think that there's no doubt. I've heard people tell me that what if it's not Major Briggs's prints? I think it's 100% his prints because the head was cut off.
Right.
Major Briggs's head floats through on episode 2. Okay.
But they also say in the FBI that the prints came up and it's Garland Briggs.
16 times, yeah.
Not the FBI.
Okay.
To the military, I'm sorry.
So is it Major
but to
Briggs
see his head
or
floating
the
by
insurance
and the
guy?
head cut off, gotta be, right?
It's got to be.
Yeah.
What about the insurance guy?
I'm sorry?
The insurance guy. What about him? Because there's also speculation that it may be the body of the real Dougie.
Right. It might be the body of the real Dougie with Major Briggs' prints.
Yeah, that's possible.
Because the fact that the wedding ring was inside his stomach. But what I found interesting was the coroner said, I'd start with the wife to the police. But how come the police didn't say, well, we already have someone arrested for this murder. We got Principal Hastings, Matthew Lillard's character, in jail right now. So what's to start with the wife stuff? Why don't they say, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's it'll be interesting because I hope Matthew Lillard comes back.
I know.
Played amazing.
Because I would like a little bit more context as to what was happening with the doppelganger and Phyllis and all that. Obviously she wanted to revenge on her husband because he was cheating on her. Some people have said to me, what if Laura Dern is his secretary? And I mean, that might happen. Of course, a lot of people think that Laura Dern is going to play Diane, but then again, it would be Frost and Lynch to subvert expectations and have her just play someone random like Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
But then again, it doesn't make any sense because Laura Dern did a lot of press for this show and she hasn't even shown up yet. So
she's also a big Lynch supporter, though. So
yeah, but I mean, so did Nepper and Belushi. They did a lot of press too. They didn't show up till episode 5.
That's true.
So,
maybe they'll play more roles, though. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we talked about this earlier. But the middle showgirl in that scene where they're beating up the casino manager is Amy Shields, and she's supposedly a huge part of this new show. But she's just like a throwaway, cutaway character.
Really?
Yeah. Because she's on the Mark Frost book, the audio book. She's doing lots of press for it. And if you Google her name with Twin Peaks, there's like 45 articles that pop up. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I don't know. What do you guys think about the whole Mr. Jackpot stuff? I thought that was absolutely hilarious. All that,
So did I.
Mr. Jackpot, Mr. Jackpot.
But
I love the old woman's change of heart from flipping off the security camera, and then it's like, Mr. Jackpot, you changed my life.
Right. Well, that's another reason why I think that whole section might take place in an earlier time, because anybody who's gone to a casino knows that they don't give out coins anymore, but they did in 2003, 2005-ish, when the housing crisis was starting to happen.
Unless that's a feature of the silver Mustang that they still use silver quarters.
That's possible. I mean,
yeah.
But one thing, the cars in that timeline, they look much new than the ones at 2005-06. So that was the only thing that I think didn't match. But I don't know.
that's interesting because.
Hang on a second. Derry Dane is saying that's not Amy Shields. Okay, now I'm confused now because I've had 25 people today tell me I was Amy Shields, and now I got one person saying it's not. So I don't know. Is it or not? Can someone clarify this for me?
Certainly look like it.
Check the credits.
Check the credits, please.
No, what was interesting is when who was it? When what's her name's wife went to call, make that call. Who the hell was that? There was a call that was made when it cut to the box.
Right.
Okay.
Lorraine.
Thank you.
She's the one that hired the hitman, right?
Right.
Exactly. When she went to make that call, that was a BlackBerry.
Right.
Yeah.
And a BlackBerry is around that time frame, right?
Exactly.
So that messed with me too, man.
Well, and also if
I don't want to believe it's that time frame, but
if you add up the numbers on that calculator, it came out to be 315. That so or on our BlackBerry.
This is too much.
Well, and it's just like I said, yesterday the dice in the board meeting. If you look at the wall, the dice adds up to 16. They talk about 16 claims at the place. There's 16 hits on Major Briggs' fingerprints.
Yep.
And the worst thing about it is Don Murray, the guy who plays the boss, the one that sends Cooper home with that homework, whatever. He hasn't acted in 16 years.
Get out of here.
So, I'm like, what the hell? And then, of course, Mark Frost booked the list of 7 that he wrote, right? And 7's everywhere in the
See, this is what Twin Peaks brings out in people, though, right?
Yes.
Too much information.
And again, what I love about this show is, we're not sitting around. I mean, we're discussing what things could mean or speculating about this and that. But in the grand scheme of things, I think we're in love with the conversation more than the actual the actual results.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this show. It's like this could mean absolutely nothing, but the fact that it has sparked your brain and made you just think about all these things,
we are having so much more fun than people that are waiting for the Blu-ray set and binge watching it later.
Right.
Did you guys all see that video I posted? I don't know if you saw this, Chaz, but I posted a video saying that there were people that had contacted me saying that they couldn't, get Showtime. They couldn't watch the new show. Would I mind refraining discussing anything about the new show until after it's come out on Blu-ray and they've seen it?
Yes, I would mind.
Yeah.
So the world needs to stop till they see this.
There's another show for that called Showtime.
Right.
I mean, listen, Showtime is only $9.99 a month, and if you can't do it,
I ordered it.
Yeah. Subscribe to Showtime or die.
Yeah.
Well, you know what though? There's really no excuse because YouTube uploaded the first 2 episodes.
Did they really?
Yeah, I mean, Showtime uploaded on their channel, edited, of course, because of the nudity. So you can at least see the first 2 episodes.
Or there's plenty of torrent sites, if you're not opposed to copyright infringement, you can access the shows. So
I'm doing that, man.
Just go to your. Well, you have an excuse, man. You're in Iran, all right.
Dude, what time is it there, man?
It is 4:00 in the morning, and I'm at work in 2 hours. So,
ouch!
Wow, dude.
Let's see how much I love this show. I'm sitting
Twin Peaks
here
fan number
going to
1.
work in 2 hours.
Exactly. Some people in the chat are thinking that Laura Dern's going to play Annie. I just can't see it. But
no, that wouldn't make any sense.
And also Kyle MacLachlan. I mean, I know it's been a long time since they dated after Blue Velvet, but that would just be awkward. Yeah. But
no chance Heather Graham comes back.
Who Heather Graham?
Yeah.
I think that she's going to show up.
Me too.
I do.
Who's that?
Glad you said
Heather
that.
Graham. Heather Graham.
Oh, Heather Graham. Yeah.
I don't believe her if she says she's not in it. I mean, she shows up in all those Flowers in the Attic TV movies. She can show up in Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
How are they gonna? This is completely off on another tangent. How are they gonna deal with the Tremons and the Chalfonts and that kind of?
Well, if you go by some people's theories, they are being dealt with in terms of Sonny Jim and Naomi Watts, or the crack whore and the mom or the little boy.
Yeah, I could see it more in that with the squatters there in the Rio Rancho.
The fact that they keep cutting back to that little boy and the woman who's always hung over from her drug overdose or whatever it is. It's
If that little boy starts eating a can of cream corn.
Holy crap.
Well, I thought, honestly, with episode 5, I thought we were going to get a recreation of De Palma's The Untouchables with the little boy walking over to the car. I thought Lynch was going to blow him up. But like I said, I was making a joke earlier, Chaz, that it's just not good enough to blow up car thieves, right? They have to be throwing rocks at the little boy first before they blow up. So we feel no sympathy whatsoever for that.
That's right.
Did anyone else think that when they cut back to Buenos Aires and the box beeped or whatever, that we were going to finally see a little Bowie cameo in there?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, when that credit popped up, Buenos Aires, Argentina, I perked up like, oh my god, because I knew it was getting to the end of the episode, and I thought if they end this with David Bowie, internet is going to go kaput.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What do you make of that Bucks and the Buenos Aires story? Does it have to? I think it's the stuff that the doppelganger Bob Cooper, told that he was doing with Philip Jeffries all these years and was going to talk about. I don't know, because only Buenos Aires reference, it's only connects to Philip Jeffries. So
right. I mean, they're throwing his name around so much. It's like it really gives me hope that there's a Bowie performance coming up.
I know this won't happen, but I am hoping there is a Kenneth Welsh cameo in this show as well. I'd love to see William Earl again.
He just was announced as a guest for the Twin Peaks UK festival. So
you never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes things happen for a reason. The thing is, also, if you notice on the house that the crack mom and the little boy live in, there's what's called a patriarchal cross hanging on their house. It's a double cross. I don't know if that means anything, but it is kind of strange that in this entire neighborhood they have this double cross on their house near the
Is it
roof.
gold?
It's not gold. It's not gold. But it made me nervous because of the fact that, Lancelot Court, Merlin's Market. I thought, oh, are we doing another King Arthur reference here or what?
Yeah.
Did you know, Chaz, that your face has turned gold throughout most of this podcast?
It's okay. Frank, every time you talk, you have a green light on your face, so I know you're lying. So
And I'm going the blue rose route.
Yeah,
I love that bit. We talked about the slots earlier on when the little red room hovers over the jackpot machine.
I know. To me, it looked like the sorting hat in Harry Potter, just hanging over all the machines and stuff. But it's funny. When I did the episode 5 watch along yesterday, I don't know. You got a million things going through your head. At one point, I called Tom Sizemore Michael Madsen. I made the serious mistake.
I've heard it before. No big deal.
Well, no, because you just
similarities in their acting.
well, because him showing up in Now You're Born Killers, and then of course him playing a similar role in True Romance, and then sometimes 1992, 93, you mixed up Sizemore and Madsen a lot. So
Yeah.
But then again, I mixed up the other. I don't know the names, but the guy who is in the casino, the guy that is from The Dark Knight, the guy that just got appointed to be the new Vegas guy.
Oh yeah, you thought that was the dude from Winkies, right?
Yeah, because they look so similar.
They do look similar. I made that confusion a little bit too, but then you kind of tell it wasn't one of the same.
But the guy from Winkies, and I'm sorry I don't know his name, and I wish I did, but he's in episode 5 though.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Who are you thinking of here? You talk about the guy that talks about his dream in Winkies. Is that
yeah.
Yeah, that's Patrick Fisher. He's in earlier on. He's sitting at an office desk.
But he's not the guy in the casino.
No, that's the guy from The Dark Knight.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. They look so similar that we're even playing with doppelgangers with minor characters. It almost seems like, someone made a joke that too, that, Marv Roseanne, the guy who played Toad in the back room, is not the same Toad that was, the one that was the the guy that was always eating pie in the double R.
Right.
That there were 2 Toads. So
Yes.
we have 2 Toads, we have 3 Coopers, we have 2 Trumans, we have 3 Mikes and Bobs. You know,
3 Mikes.
well, yeah, because we have Mike and Bobby, Mike and Bob, and then Phil, and then and then,
I got you.
yeah. So I mean, there's just
It was great seeing Mike though as the interviewer.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well, you can always tell the reviewers or the recappers that
yes,
are newbies because they didn't recognize that was Mike.
no.
Well, it took me a minute. It took me a minute.
Listen, can I just throw that out there too? Because you have all the articles being written. I share a lot of them, but I adore them because you can tell who are the fans and who aren't, who just got stuck with that job.
Just got assigned the Twin Peaks recap.
Right. Because every single article that says the Bang Bang Bar, I howl. Absolutely howl. I'm like, that is the Roadhouse. And everyone goes, no, the Bang Bang Bar is inside the Roadhouse. But nobody once in the history of Twin Peaks, Firewalk with Me, anybody said Bang Bang Bar now. They always said Roadhouse. Let's go.
Yeah.
It isn't definitely not a Bang Bang Bar.
I mean, I understand. Listen, the first time you see Firewalk with Me, you think that brothel is in the back of the Roadhouse or something, that whole pink room scene, you know, because they took out the whole part of them driving, you know, they had to add in that ADR line, welcome to Canada.
Yeah.
Because I think probably first audiences were like, is this in the back of the Roadhouse? Is Julie Cruz performing here? But I do think that Julie Cruz will be one of the probably one of the last singers that we see in the Roadhouse.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I think Trent Reznor might not play a role. I think Trent Reznor might be an actual performer on stage.
Did
Also,
you?
Eddie Vedder.
Possibility.
Eddie Vedder too, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder.
I mean,
Did anybody heard of you this week? This so sad remake of what is her ass shaking name?
Christabel doing Falling.
I know the name, but you know, she's the ass shaking woman. This so terrible remake. I felt so shamed. Oh no! Oh my god!
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I endured it and did not like it. I kind of like the end a little bit, but the beginning, her singing was awful, especially compared to Julie Cruz's version.
Thank you.
Didn't Christabel do Silencio for Mulholland Drive?
No,
No.
that
wasn't
was
That was Lana Del Rey, wasn't it?
That no.
Yeah.
No.
Rebecca Del Rio sang
That's it. That's it.
Lorando on it.
Right, Rebecca Del Rey. Yeah.
But did Christabel
Rebecca Del Rio,
sing for Mulholland Drive?
No.
I think so.
Christabel sings on Inland Empire. She does that gypsy Polish.
Boom, that's it.
Polish
That's what I'm thinking
poem.
of.
Yeah.
Right.
That song is beautiful. I don't
Absolutely.
care what anybody says about Christabel.
Yeah, it's good. That is good.
That is a great freaking song.
okay, so we're reversing ourselves again real quick.
Yeah, sorry. Let me go get a drink.
No, Dari Dane did say the showgirl is Amy Shields, so it is her. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's the girl in the middle, the blonde girl in the middle.
Right.
Free.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're told it was Amy Shields, and then someone says not Amy
think
Shields,
her
and now it
name's-
is Amy Shields.
I think
the
her name's
show-
Andrew.
Yeah, this you know, this is the stuff that I'm more confused about. You know, everyone asks me about gold marbles and that type of thing. I just none of that stuff bothers me. What bothers me is you know, little things that nobody cares about. Like, why do the rims on Dougie's car change pre-explosion to after explosion? Is that like we was talking about? Is that a production logistical situation?
No.
Yeah. Intentional or continuity error?
Yeah, I think
This
it's
is David Lynch.
Listen. The reason why I even bring it up is if it was any other filmmaker, I'd be like, well, you know, that's just the production thing. But because, like in Fire Walk with Me, everything is flipped in that movie. Everything is flipped. Laura Palmer's homecoming photo in the school is the one that's in her house, and the one that's in her house is the one that was in school. The fact that, you know, Chet Desmond is CD as the flip from Dale Cooper. You know, there's just everything's flipped in that movie. So it just makes me wonder, you know, is that just something that just happened in the production? They try to cover it up, or Lynch is just continuing to have fun with the fact that Rancho Rosa is not real.
Did you guys also freak out when they first went into the police station and all of the dialogue was starting with C or D or D or C? Like my brain, because I have that Lynch is pulling my chain, because it was like, oh, it's a Chinese designer drug. Oh, little Chucky Dixon OD'd. He never got out of his desk. Like there was so many of those CDs. Like I started writing it all down and then I gave up. But it was crazy. If you watch that scene where they're walking through, they're saying we had a domestic, a DUI, and a anyway. They just list all of these
D's and C's.
E's and C's through like the first minute, and like I said, I was writing it down trying to make sense, and then they walked through and it was like, oh, it's little, I think it was like Chucky Dixon. He didn't get out of his desk, and then they walked down the hall, and Sheriff Truman says to Bobby, oh, I think it's one of those new Chinese designer drugs, and I'm like, stop it! Like
you must have been smoking one of those Jerry Horn herbal jazz cigarettes to observe that keenly.
I swear, if you watch that again, like everything is CD or DC, and it'll freak your brain out.
I gotta tell you, when Dr. Jacoby was doing his blog thing, and they cut to Jerry Horn, my TV calibration must be really off, because I really did think it was some homeless man just sitting by the river watching. I had no idea that was Jerry Horn until on the rewatch, and people started saying to me, "That's Jerry Horn." I'm like, I'm so not used to seeing David Patrick Kelly looking like that.
Yeah,
you know, I just thought it was just some random homeless dude just sitting there watching, you know,
by the riverbank.
Yeah, and then when they cut to Nadine, I was like, that is insane to like reintroduce Nadine Hurley just so random like that. You know, it's like there's no build up to it. It's just boom, cutaway. There she is. You know, and I want to. I do love the fact that people have pointed out the fact that it's a 2 to 4 weeks delivery, shipping and handling, considering that, you know, he's in town. You know, it's a local broadcast, and it takes 2 to 4 weeks for the shovel to get.
You must drive very slowly.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, like, where is he living now? I mean, you know, is he on the outskirts of Twin Peaks?
He doesn't get to the post office that often living out there.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so
smart for not drinking water or anything during the podcast. You don't have to get up and pee or anything.
All right,
like Cooper after 25 years.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the 2 times he's had to pee this episode looks like he's just gonna like explode. and when he starts waddling to the bathroom in episode 5, and you see the face muscles like so tense,
the beads of perspiration on the upper forehead.
Because I don't care how good of an actor you are, you can't fake that.
So I think brilliant, so brilliant.
People who are like complaining about Dougie, I mean, just embellishing the performance, man. Like, he is loving it, you know?
Yeah.
You can tell that Kyle is in on this.
Yeah, not only that, but I've said this before, Chaz. You can see why when they delivered him that 400-page script of Twin Peaks, that he probably didn't think 10 minutes about it.
No, he just immediately started going, Emmy.
Well, not only that,
nomination.
He's got 3 performances.
Yep.
I guarantee you that he said yes. I mean, I'm sure Mark and David kind of talked him into a little bit, but the moment he read that he got out of the car like that as the doppelganger with the hair, he was like, I'm not going to get this on Desperate Housewives. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Did you guys find that awesome, though? Like, first, he dispatches the guy with the shotgun when he shows up at Beulah's, right? He's like, boom, boom. He takes out the guard. But if you think about the scene with Sam and Tracy, right after that, the guard is gone. So I don't know what it means or what the connection is, but there's a guard in front of Beulah's. He dispatches it. Then we cut back to Sam and Tracy, and they're like, where's the guard? So I thought that was interesting, but I don't know if it means anything at all. But I was just like, and Otis the elevator. That's the only thing I got from that.
Well, we've all seen that double video that I can't remember her name, but where she made that video of showing Cooper and the woman in the purple room and Sam and Tracy. I mean, obviously it was meant to to be like that. But it's I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of when I saw that, Chaz, it reminded me of like Brian De Palma. It was like, they probably did a simultaneous cut so that it would match up. And
yeah, man,
that's how good Dwayne Dunham is as an editor.
Great style. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
thank you. I'm glad you recognize my love for De Palma as well. My second favorite director.
Well, yeah. Well, one of my favorite directors, Stanley Kubrick, and he's all over David Lynch's stuff. So.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
And not just in style or anything like that, but just in terms of singular vision. You watch one frame of this new Twin Peaks, and you know who's in charge.
Yep.
I think Kubrick was influenced by Lynch for Eyes Wide Shut with the dream aspects. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Now remember, during The Shining, Kubrick would routinely show people Eraserhead over and over and over again. So,
yeah,
because it had just come out, and you imagine watching Eraserhead with Stanley Kubrick. That would be an amazing moment.
Yeah, the only thing that would make that weirder is Salvador Dali walks in or something.
What the hell was that?
Shelley Duvall is even more like messed up watching it with him.
Okay, so do we have confirmation what the drug that Becky took? Do you think that was coke, heroin, or the Chinese designer drug? Where are we going with this? Is this just kind of a throwaway thing that they're doing drugs, or because Steven looked like a heroin addict to me?
Yeah.
So
yeah, somebody posted he looked like Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
On one of the boards.
Kevin!
I mean, I relished Mike just chewing him out for the resume and all this other stuff, But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you think Bobby's going to end up being the father of her? I don't. I'll be surprised.
No.
I think that's just more fan expectation they're going to subvert. Because otherwise, why wouldn't she be going into her dad for money too, not just?
I was trying to remember who she was with at the end of the series because Leo. It wasn't Leo. Was it Bobby?
Bobby was with her because at the end they're in the diner together going.
Yeah, with Heidi. We got to see Heidi soon.
No, well, isn't Heidi in it? I thought I saw her in the credits in episode 5.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's the same actress, but there's a character named Heidi, and I thought, oh my god, is she like in the background?
I want her to repeat. I want her to repeat her scene from.
Because if she is in there, then that explains that there's something really squirrely happening in Twin Peaks. If Shelley and Heidi are still working at the Double R 25 years later.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everybody seems to be more or less at a standstill, where they haven't really moved on. But it is strange that like James shows up in episode 2, never to be seen again. Ben, so far, I'm just saying Ben shows up in one scene in episode 1, never to be heard from. While the people who were doing press for this new show don't show up till episode 5. I mean, it's just,
dude. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Lynch is playing with the TV viewer.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, it's one giant 18-hour movie, so he's weaving the tapestry. Right. That's why they're calling them parts, not episodes.
Right. He's intentionally just giving you that.
And at the end credits, it always says this film was, made with this tax break. It doesn't say this TV show, this program, this film. So, I think it's. But it is interesting. We were talking about an article how before we started recording. There's a lot of articles going around about how nothing is happening in this show. I read that and it's embarrassing. I don't even know why people are even talking about the show. If they don't like it, fine. But to make up like false facts, and like they even say, well, the viewership has gone dramatically down. Which I can understand that. But in their article, they say that the viewership has gone up by 25,000 people. So it's even negating what the article headline is saying. And of course,
there's so much happening.
And of course, we all know from torrents and streaming and all that stuff, people are watching it. Showtime knows people are watching it. HBO used to brag that Game of Thrones was the most illegally downloaded show in the history of TV. So Showtime knows they have a huge hit on their hands. Even if they lose casual viewers, I mean, just every day you Google Twin Peaks, there's more and more articles being written. And of course, that could just be the press just having fun with it. But I don't know. I don't think it's the disaster that some articles are trying to make it sound like, because we're all talking about it. Every video I post about Twin Peaks is, the viewership is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every day. So
I've worn my Twin Peaks shirt or Laura Palmer shirt in different bookstores and restaurants and stuff, and inevitably there's somebody that's gone, "Oh, how are you liking the show? Are you loving it?" Somebody will always call it out.
Right.
Nice.
Okay, so what do we think about this? I mean, we knew this was going to happen, right? But we have to address it just because it is out there. I'm saying, Hal, I think you did this. You're the one that did this, okay? Because you mentioned this on our last podcast, and I said, well, I haven't seen anything like this, so maybe I'm not looking in the right places. Now, all of a sudden, I'm seeing 2 to 3 articles a day talking about that David Lynch is a big misogynist.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's spreading like wildfire. Somebody wrote the other day on the Twin Peaks Worldwide page, dear whoever wrote this article, misogyny exists. It's not misogynistic to portray misogyny for what it is. Get over it. Signed, Lynch fans. And it's got 200 likes on that post.
Well, when we did that first show where we brought it up, that there was a response from a female viewer that was very eloquent. So
it was wonderful.
Check that episode out and look at the comments.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people are getting really irritated with it, but we knew it was going to happen. I mean, every time Andy or Lucy says to Hawk, "You're an Indian," or "We haven't found any Indian things," I keep checking Twitter. Okay, when's this going to blow up? When are people going to call
the climate we're in right now, man? This is a show that's very nostalgic and loving to people, and when it's a big deal, people are going to just come out and attack it in that way. I'm not sure, but I think Lynch has been talked about this very, very, in a small way for other films in the past. But, well,
that was famously the, Roger Ebert's slam on Blue Velvet when
that's what it was.
Give it a thumbs down was the mistreatment of Isabella Rossellini in his eyes, which is absurd because she was David Lynch's girlfriend at the time.
But the thing is that Roger Ebert, once you got him on board with you as a filmmaker, he never looked back, right? So once he went on board with The Straight Story, Mulholland Drive got 4 stars after that.
Yeah.
So it's once you convince Ebert to be on your side, he looks past anything and just goes. But it took a long time for him to get there.
But he never did rescind his Blue Velvet review, though, which is, I think, crazy.
Well, to each his own. It did
it's
make
an American classic.
I mean, the guy wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, man.
Right.
Well, the thing that's so funny is if you look at Lynch's work and you go back to Blue Velvet, it almost feels like a stage play compared to some of his other movies. Because it's just so focused and concentrated on those 4 characters. It's almost like a quartet or something.
And you also got to keep in mind it's buzzwords, man. It's people getting it out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's all about the hits, right?
It's want to be heard.
The more extreme, posts, the more people will.
Especially when you're dealing with something that's a little above the norm, you won't. They're not going to come out for the new episode of Homebound or whatever the hell. What's that show?
Homeland.
Homeland, and say it's misogynistic. But you know what? If you wanted to attack it, I'm sure it's misogynistic.
Well, according to Anita Sarkeesian, everything's racist, everything's sexist, everything's misogynistic. So if you go by that, then everything's to blame.
Yes, I agree.
Right. And it all comes down to sex and death.
That's the history of Hollywood and the U.S., man.
Yeah, I just think it was interesting that there's just ever since Hal mentioned it, there's just been an influx of articles. Thanks, Hal.
Hey, don't blame me.
But I also think that whenever something is popular or coming back into quote unquote mainstream, that's when everyone has to do their amazing think pieces. I mean, think how many think pieces have come out since Wonder Woman's hit, So it's just
Wonder Woman's a big hit.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
Is Wonder Woman misogynistic?
No, but I'm saying there's always things.
No, I'm asking. I have no idea. I haven't seen it.
No, I don't think so. But I don't think the new Twin Peaks is misogynistic either. So
me neither. But what I'm saying is, doesn't Wonder Woman have a female director?
Yeah.
She could be misogynistic.
Misogyny is such a strong word too. Is there anybody really that believes David Lynch hates women?
Right.
Come on.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's the romantic.
Exactly.
It's just buzzwords, man. It's just, people got agendas now.
Yeah. I just
disclaimer, my opinion, not Cameron's.
Yes, says the middle-aged white male. Yeah,
exactly.
I love when people like write articles and stuff like that saying, well, I may just be a middle-aged white male. It's like, why do you got to call that out? Just write your article.
because we're the only ones that it's still safe to attack.
Okay.
In the politically correct world, the white middle-aged male is still fair game.
I guess. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. But yeah. Well, is there any other points you guys want to touch base on that we haven't talked about this new series? I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff we could cover, but
so where do we think we're going for episode part 6? What's the first scene?
I don't know, but isn't part 6 have called something about like there's a body or something or no?
I haven't heard the title. Yeah.
I think. Hang on. Well, you guys discuss it. I'll pull up the titles.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Maybe we got
how many have been titled so far in the future?
I think up to 6.
Okay.
8 or 6.
8? Oh, really?
I think 8.
I think they went to 8 and they pulled them, didn't they?
Do you think that we are gonna see the person who's drinking like maybe at the house that Albert showed?
Yes,
when we see that next, yeah. Yeah,
I can't wait to get back to that and Gordon debriefing Koopelganger.
I like
to call him Koopelganger rather than Doppelkoop. It's Koopelganger.
Well, some people have called him. Some people called him Booper, which I love. It's a way of shipping him. I don't think that debriefing thing's going to happen for a while because that prison's going to be like, listen, he shut down our whole thing, with one phone call. I think Gord might be afraid to be in the same room with him.
That's true. That is true.
And I've had some people think that when he picked up the phone, that he was going to use the electricity of the phone to go through it, but that would take him into the lodge, and he doesn't want that. So,
but you notice how he's sussing out the routines in there, like when the guy comes for the food with the food. He was checking out the staircase where the guy went up. When they gave him the phone call, he's sussing out his sort of escape routes or the routine of the everyday thing going on there, so he can kind of find a way out. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Who do you think is this woman?
Which woman?
The woman that's drinking. That they know where she drinks.
I have no idea.
No, she's drinking.
Audrey, right?
No, Sarah.
I thought it would be Diane, but because she would know Coop better than anybody.
But why would Gordon Albert, who had no history with Audrey, seek Audrey out?
Right. That's why I think it's Diane. She works for the FBI for Coop.
You know what? I never thought about that.
I mean, and why would they go to Sarah? I mean, it's just like.
Well, because she has visions, and did they know that?
No, they didn't know that.
Okay.
Major Briggs knew that.
Right.
Now, unless the military and the FBI are really working together, they probably wouldn't know that. I don't know.
My guess is Diane. That's the close connection to Coop.
Well, that would be the one that could actually identify whether that was him or not.
Right.
But he does have Cooper's memories. He does have Cooper's memories.
And you know what? That's a great introduction for Laura Dern.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah. As a drunkard old secretary.
Right, because maybe she's bummed out. She was so close to Coop. When he disappeared, she went on a bender,
Yeah. There's that word again, bend.
That's great.
Yeah. Let's see.
Do you guys think that you're going to have a mention of like Dougie Milford or something, as he was a big influence in the book? Like just a mention, or no, it's going to be ignored altogether?
Yeah, well, the fact that it's Dougie and Dougie Milford, like you said, is so important in Mark Frost's book. There's got to be some connection there somehow, I would think, but you never know.
We will see.
All will be revealed, or not.
Or not.
Sooner or later.
I I adore the fact that I have no idea where this is going. We're 5 episodes in, and if I'm 5 episodes into any show, I kind of know not necessarily what's going to happen next, but I know kind of the road we're on.
Yep.
But this road could go any which way at any minute.
Yeah, like how you asked, what's the opening shot, right?
Yeah.
The most obvious would be like she's investigating the body, right? Like she's already there. That's not going to happen. The opening shot is going to be a new character that Cameron shows up, and we're like, "What the fuck is Cameron doing in this?"
Listen, I was amazed when because we were joking about before it came out that I don't want to see a body wrapped in plastic as the opening of the new show and that type of thing. And how do they begin it? They begin it the way we as hardcore fans wanted to see it. It began in the Black Lodge.
Yep.
And I think you, Chaz, wrote something about it on Facebook saying David Lynch doesn't give an F about this and about new viewers coming in, and this show has been made for basically the original fans.
Saying that this can bring new fans in, I don't get it. I already know people that tried to binge watch it. We talked about this last time I was on. They were out within an hour.
Okay. Hang on a second, Chaz. Hold that thought.
Sure.
So part 5 that we just saw was called Case Files. Part 6, the next one, is called Don't Die. Part 7 is called hang on. There's a Body, all right. And part 8 is Got a Light. Okay.
Got a light.
Okay. So I think episode 6 is gonna be a big one, maybe.
I think episode 7 is going to be bigger. But yeah. I mean, again, these could just be, like if you hear the word Case Files, you think, oh, Agent Cooper. But no, it has to do with the fact that he had to take these case files home and have homework. So I think even with episode titles, they're subverting stuff. Even though Hawk and Andy are looking through case files themselves. But
Cameron, you and I, we talked before it even started about the 4 titles for the episodes. They didn't give anything away, right? The first was something so random is like
Well, the first 2 titles did sort of. I mean, you knew in the first title that we were going to see the Log Lady, so it's a bit of
a little bit, but it didn't like give away anything.
No. Well, that's what we like. We just like hints and just whiffs of information.
Any thoughts on Cal jumped over the moon? Is there any reference that I missed?
The only thing is that a lot of people have said to me that in that phrase, you can spell the name Cooper with those letters. So
or we were talking about D's and C's, man. Hey, diddle, 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 cow, diddle.
Oh, great.
This is incredible. I don't know. Have there been any series in the history that there have been so many speculation about it?
The only other one I would say would be Lost. But Lost felt compelled to try to answer most of it, and this doesn't.
Right. It's funny you mentioned that. I was thinking about a lot of these like reviewers that just have to review the series that aren't really into Twin Peaks.
Right. Yeah.
These are the people that were watching Lost and were like really into it, and then were like pissed off at the ending.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I think
didn't watch Lost. I'm not a fan, but
But I think your post made me laugh the most because it wasn't the fact about new viewers in this show. It had to do with the fact that that there were people who knew this was coming out that 4 days before binge watched the first 2 seasons on Netflix.
And I said, you guys are fucking lost.
Right, because my argument was not the fact that you've seen the first 2 seasons and then go into this. It's the fact that you've had to have seen these 2 seasons prior, like sometime years ago, and that you've lived with the show, thought about the show, because that's who it's paying off. It's not paying off the people who just watched it last Thursday and going into it.
Right. It has to resonate with you spiritually before you're going to get this season 3.
And also the fact is the 25 years. I think that's key, not just in fact of the timeline of the show, but timeline for the fandom. I mean, obviously, if you're a newer fan, that's fine. But for the original fans who watched it, that 25 years, that's why the original fans, most of them, are having like the best time ever. Not the fact that
Right.
even though we're not even in Twin Peaks during the show, it's just the fact that we are getting paid off. Like I said before, this show is everything I wanted the new show to be, but Lynch and Frost are giving me everything I wanted to see, not the way I ever expected to get it.
That's right.
We're getting Cooper, we're getting coffee, we're getting all the stuff, you know, that people love, but they're not giving it to us the way the fans wanted to see it.
It's like that scene with Bobby seeing Laura's picture for the first time and crying. That scene would not have any emotional resonance if that time passage if you hadn't experienced
You're
that
right.
passage of
A new
time.
viewer would think that was cheesy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's
Dude, you just reminded me. You're talking about. I wonder if cherry pie is going to be what wakes Dougie up.
well, I mean, they keep giving him coffee.
Well, he's loving the coffee, man.
Yeah, you're right. That could be the missing piece.
Coffee.
Yeah, exactly. It's finally going to kick in, man.
But it's like in the breakfast scene, right? He takes a sip of coffee and spits it out, just like in episode 2 of the series, right? So they gave us the Cooper taking the swig of the hot coffee, spitting it out. But they gave it to us as, you know, catatonic Cooper. You know, it's subverting everything we wanted to see in a way. But that's what keeps it so fresh and alive. It's listen, if they just repeated the same beats from the original show, we would honestly, I think we'd be a little bored as fans. Like, really, they're just kind of
right. I remember seeing Lynch on Jay Leno when Fire Walk with Me came out, and he referred to the movie as a jazz version of Twin Peaks. Well, this is just another variation on the theme, man. You know, it's the same.
No one could have ever thought that Lynch was going to do Twin Peaks over again. I mean, it's no way.
Yeah, what in his career made you think that he would go nostalgia on you?
But the way Showtime was wanting to obviously cultivate a new viewership, I really did think that, listen, I know obviously we were totally wrong, but I thought that we were going to get some sort of quote unquote normalcy of introduction and then move through the story that was going to get more and more progressively bizarre and out there. Nope, we're going to start right at the Black Lodge right from scene 1 and hold on tight. And because in 2 hours, Cooper's going to be in outer space and there's going to be an Asian woman with no eyes being thrust into outer space. And you're going to have Major Briggs's head telling us Blue Rose. God bless him, man. I mean,
the greatest.
I know. I mean,
normally you would take that nugget, that familiar nugget, and expand. Instead, he's just like starts past the expansion line and keeps going further outward.
Listen, I need to give a shout out to Evan Sadoff from Birth Movies Death. He was on this podcast a few months before the new show started. And I asked them, I said, okay, you've seen a lot of TV shows. What do you think Lynch and Frost are going to do in order to, you know, bring in the viewers and then guide us through, right? And his reaction was, and this was something nobody had ever thrown my way, so that's why it took me back. He said, well, Cameron, how do you know they're going to do that? Maybe Lynch and Frost are just saying, screw the new viewers, and we're going to just take the old viewers for a spin. And I said, can they do that? And he goes, it's possible. Well, it's possible. Because it happened. They left everybody in the dust. And obviously you can figure it out if you know, but I'm just saying for the original viewers of the show, this is like a present that we're getting that we've never seen. A cable station gives Lynch and Frost the money to make this show on any terms they want. And we're getting paid in dividends. And everybody else is like, huh? I don't get it. So what do? They have to insult the show. They have to complain about aspects of the show that they're not comfortable with because they don't get it.
Right.
So
you're absolutely right. And Lynch Frost are more concerned about the legacy of the show, and when it's all combined as to a whole, the seasons 1, 2, the movie, and 3 as a whole will be this beautiful piece of art that those that are waiting to fulfill their own expectations will be missing out on. You know?
You're dead on too, because I was reading today that there was an article about the ratings for it and how they're terrible or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who cares, whatever. And that got me thinking about the fact that, of course they are, because in another 20 years, people are going to be watching this and going, this was on freaking Showtime on TV. This is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. We get to live with it. The new people that are coming on board, great. The critics, they have an agenda to do what they have to do. I don't mean that negatively, like they have to diss it or anything, but they have to write about it, and they may not be fans or they may be fans. I've read actually really good reviews about it as well.
Yeah, me too.
I think Burnt Death actually has done some good reviews, right, Cameron?
Probably. You know, honestly, I try to stay away from a lot of talking about it just because I know it sounds selfish, but I don't want things to like influence the way I look at it. I try to see it just through, you know, how I say, and then have discussions with you guys about it. But other than that, I try to.
Well, I mean, but your site actually puts stuff in my head, all you guys, that I wouldn't even have thought about. So, I mean, I appreciate that kind of stuff, you know?
You know, and I've had some people say, oh, don't talk about certain stuff because, you know, that might be eventual spoilers down the line for the show. And it's like, we don't have any inside information here. We're just having fun discussing it. You know, you know, please don't take what we say as gospel. We're just having fun discussing the show. And like I said, even if everything we discuss turns out to be much ado about nothing, it's not nothing to me because part of the fun is these discussions. You know,
I'm glad to be on board. Thank you.
Oh, of course. But let's see here.
On that note, I'm going to sign off, guys.
All right, take it easy, man. Thanks for joining.
Everybody, take care.
Bye.
All right, see you soon.
Bye.
So, all right, we're gonna wrap this up, guys, pretty soon. Just checking the chat here. People are railing about critics in here. they're having a good time. All right, so let's just go down the row here. Why don't you take us out, Danny? Why don't you where are you right now in terms of your fandom? Danny.
You mean me?
Yeah, you.
I didn't understand. Sorry.
Oh, where are you right now in terms of like the show and stuff? Are you even a bigger fan today than you were, you know, a year ago, or
no?
No.
I watched the show first time when I was 10 years old. Mm-hmm. It was, you know, the original first screening in German TV in 1990. And my mom said, "Oh no, you didn't watch this." And I said, "Hey, Mom, why?" And she said, "Hey, it's too late." That was, you know, her, you know, speaking for telling me, "No, you don't see that thing." And I thought, hey, okay, you say it is too late. Okay, there's a video recorder. I record it, and the next day, I'm gonna watch it. And, you know, the next day my mom said, "Hey, what, you gonna watch it?" I said, "You know, it's Twin Peaks." I said, "You don't gonna watch it." "Yeah, you said because it is at, you know, it's too late, but you didn't say that I can't not record it." And she watched with me that pilot, and she was the person who told me, "Don't forget to record the next part."
Yeah, excellent. Your mom was converted to a fan.
So we watched, you know, part of the part. We buy the original soundtrack and, you know, all that stuff around, and it was so amazing. And, you know, I was 10 years old and I didn't understand all that stuff, but I rewatched and rewatched and rewatched, and I was so glad when, you know, I guess it was in 2001 or 2002, the first season was released on DVD, and I buy it, and I rewatched and rewatched and rewatched. And I, for the first time, I understand what the Lock Lady said in the intro. And it was so, you know, my hairs, you all stand up. And Season 2 didn't follow it. And, you know, I had a phone call to Paramount and said, "Hey, when followed Season 2? And they said, "Oh, no, there are some problems." And, you know, years and years went by. And so I was glad for Sky. This is, our here on-demand channel who aired the whole second season, and I was so glad to rewatched it, and I was so I'm thought about all that stuff, and what could it mean? What should that mean? What built David Lynch there? And nobody could tell me. Nobody. And now here is our community, and so I understand much more better, and I'm so glad, I'm so thankful. I must say, this time the German dubbers make a better job than 25 years ago. One example, it was a dwarf who said to Cooper in a dream, the gum you like is going to come back in style. And the German dubbers made the TV show you like is going to come back in style. Later on, when Cooper is in the roadhouse and the giant gave him his ring back and all came clear and Cooper knows who the killer is and he's eating this gum, you don't understand why it is all happened, because he said the TV show is going to come back in style and he eat that gum and you don't understand that, and you thought, what is going on? When you watched it in the original language, you thought, okay, that made sense. The German are drunk when they made that German dub. And now, 25 years later, they brought back most of the original German speakers than 25 years ago. That is really, really cute. When you hear Laura Palmer, Dale Cooper in its original German voice 25 years ago, this is really, really cool. I love that. But, the first version I see is on Sky On Demand, and my absolutely prettiest scene is when Cooper is going in the casino and he put that coin in and he pulled the trigger and said, hello. I sat down there, but I stood up and I had to hold on that I didn't pee. It was so I did not know if I should laugh loud out or scream. That was so great. 40 years later, I saw the German dubbed version. The German speaker, he's already 25 years older. It's the original voice, but he didn't say hello. He said hello. Ho, ho. That wasn't funny. I just smiled, but I didn't laugh. I said, oh no, that didn't work. So I reversed, put back to the original language and said, is it because I've seen it again, or what it's about that I didn't laugh, that I only smiled? So I put back the original language and watched it again for the 4th, 5th, 6th time, I don't know. And the original hello ho, and I was laughing, and it was so great. This is such an amazing thing. Hey, David Lynch, Mark Frost, I think they brought us not what we expect, but they brought us a Twin Peaks 2017 techno remix of the original show. That's it. That's what it's about. And when I heard the audiobook from The Secret History, my fear was, is it James? Is it Harry? Who is the first victim? What it's all about? What it's going through? No. They play with us, with our meanings, with our thoughts, and this is the 2017 remix, and this is so great. And Mark, David, thank you.
Nice.
That was wonderful.
Absolutely great.
So,
Wonderful.
Danny, let me throw out another question to you then, because you contacted me and you wanted to come on today. So, when did you discover this YouTube channel and the community we have here talking Twin Peaks? Are you a new subscriber, or are you someone who's been following the videos for a while?
I am followed you since 1 or 2 days before the first 2 episodes was aired.
Okay.
It was the thoughts of the day, the countdown, and I was so amazing. I was so it is crazy. It is crazy when I say that I was going to bed and I couldn't sleep because my thoughts went wild. What was going to happen? What was supposed to be? It was such really crazy. I stand up and thought, okay, I couldn't sleep. Let's go to the window, smoke a cigarette. Do I make a coffee? No, I make not a coffee because it's a 2 a.m. in the morning, and that's not good. So I thought, and I thought, should I hear the audiobook again, or should I view Fire Walk with Me again? And I decided, no, it's not Fire Walk with Me. It's The Missing Pieces, and I watched The Missing Pieces 3 for the 4th time, again and again and again, and I was really amazed about 2 scenes. One scene was Andy, Hawk, and Sheriff Truman scene in the sheriff's station when they're talking, and Sheriff Truman. Yes, that's such a great moment, which David is making right here again. You know, Sheriff Truman and Wally. It's glad to see you again. He's talking and talking and talking, and Sheriff Truman. Like I said, glad to see you again. This is such a good moment. Same situation when his wife come into his office, and she's screaming and telling him and yes, I love it. This is like a bubble gum, and this is such extended and long scene. When you first see it, you think, please answer now. But then that's so much comedy and suspense in this stretching. I love it. You know, does he explode? No. He says, okay. I love it. This is so great. The second one I love is in the missing scenes, the Philip Jeffries scene.
Oh yeah.
When Cooper watch the camera, and when Jeffries came in, and he says to Gordon Cole, "Who do you think this is? Is it future or is it past?"
Exactly.
Comes he from the future and know that he is the evil doppelganger? Who do you know this is? This is such a great moment. And in the film, in the movie, in the theatrical cut, you don't realize. And when they are sitting on the table and he's explaining and telling, and you see this Buenos Aires thing when he is there and disappears. Great. Absolutely great. And yeah, this is, like, I think, wanted by David when you are, you know, in the extras on the entire mystery, when he is doing the interview, not with Ray, Grace, and Cheryl. He does the interview with Leland and Laura and Sarah. And he's asking them how they are feeling now, what happens, and what's going on. That I guess he wanted that for us as the audience, that we are prepare for it, you know.
Indeed.
And
well, I love
that scene with Bowie in the missing pieces is the crown jewel of that. And you're absolutely right. That black and white sequence where Lynch is interviewing them in character is beautiful, and especially Grace Zabriskie as Sarah Palmer in that sequence is unbelievably good.
Well, I love the fact that, like, in the new show, when it says Buenos Aires, Argentina, the original fans perk up. You know why we perk up? Not the fact that we think we might get a David Bowie cameo, which obviously is there, but the fact is that, see, if you're a casual fan, that means nothing to you. If you've seen Fire Walk with Me, it means nothing to you. The original fans perk up because we read the script for Fire Walk with Me, and we know that that sequence took place in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And so we perk up because not only are we getting a reference to something that we're getting a reference to something that you would only know if you'd read the screenplay.
That's right.
Fire Walk with Me.
That's narrow casting it to the hardcores for sure.
Right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they obviously they bring it up in the missing pieces, but again, I maintain that those missing pieces were chosen because there's a lot more that weren't shown to us. That those missing pieces were specifically chosen because they were going to play into this new show.
They're going to enhance season 3. Yeah,
and they already are. I mean, if you look at some of the ones that we've seen, I mean, all the thing about is it future, is it past? Well, that comes from the missing pieces, not from Fire Walk with Me, not from the series. It comes from the missing pieces. Right. But Dani, I'm so thankful that you found this channel and
definitely. One question I've left. I've read about that David planned right after season 2. He and Mark were doing season 3. The channel was cancelled so they decided to make this prequel film. When they made the prequel film, they also planned a sequel film to the series. They wanted to make a sequel film to show the audience what happened after the finale of season 2. So do you know what David and Mark planned for the original season 3 back in 1991 or the sequel film after Fire Walk with Me?
So the answer is no, except that we did hear that they had planned to get Cooper out of the lodge fairly early in the first few episodes, which he got out of the lodge in the first few episodes. But I do not think that what we are seeing right now would have been season 3. It's just, it really plays into that. It's been 25 years later. So in a way, I hated the fact that we didn't get season 3 or something like that in the intervening years. But I'm so happy to be alive now and see this happening now, because I wouldn't want it any other way now. But it was so hard during those 25 years. Not only the fact that there wasn't any Twin Peaks, but the fact that Lynch and Frost really kind of backed off from the material and even went so far to Lynch saying it's dead as a doornail. I mean, we had to suffer through all of that. So to see it come back like this, I'm so happy.
I'm too, definitely.
You know, but make no mistake, what we're getting now is not at all what they would have given us on ABC in season 3. Do you agree, Hal?
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I mean, there was never going to be a season 3. I think they were hoping against hope, but I don't think it was ever in the cards. And you can see that with the way Lynch wrapped up the finale. Even though he threw the major cliffhanger in as a Hail Mary pass, they knew that it wasn't going to happen. And that's why he did things like repeat the Heidi thing to bring it full circle or to make it circular. And that's why he jumped right into Fire Walk with Me, because he wasn't quite done, but I don't think they ever thought they were going to get season 3.
And again, if you read the script, Fire Walk with Me, the screenplay, it is a prequel, but it's also a sequel.
That's right.
There's a lot of aspects in there that doesn't really take the story further, but it does hint at where we were going to go, and it's paying off.
Annie Blackburn showing up in Laura's bed is a sequel element.
Right. Exactly. Because some people have said to me, "Oh, can you watch Fire Walk with Me before the show?" And I go, "Don't do that." And it's ridiculous. And also, if you go by the movie, Ben Horn's not even in the movie, and now all of a sudden he's going to be a major player in the show and be a major suspect. And you're going to know that he's not the killer. So it ruins it a lot. But Arbi, how did you? Obviously, you're a big fan of the new show, but like, how did you find this YouTube channel? I'm always really curious to find out how people all over the globe happens to find this, because listen, there's so many YouTube videos being made about Twin Peaks. What brought you to this channel as opposed to some of maybe the other channels that are out there? What is more special to you about here?
Very simple.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, Arbi, we'll start with Arbi. Go ahead.
Okay. I found this channel like 7-8 months ago. I've not waited for Twin Peaks like 25 years like you, but watched the original series like 6-7 years ago. I started with Mulholland Drive as a David Lynch movie, and it has amazed me. It has taken my soul. I love it, and 6-7 years I have watched Twin Peaks over and over again. It inspired me so much that I lived my days with Twin Peaks. Also, I opened up a restaurant in Tehran, which is themed like Twin Peaks.
Wow.
I'll send the pictures. Yeah.
Oh, please send some pictures. Please send
let's see those.
I will do that. I will make a video maybe tomorrow and send it to you.
Oh, great.
So yeah, it inspired me so much. And 6-7 months ago, I was like dying to find new Twin Peaks material to discuss. And I came up with your channel like randomly on YouTube. I was searching for Twin Peaks. And mostly at that time, it was you and James most of the time. So I started watching, and what catched me was that you didn't try to like gather new audience or anything. You were talking from the heart. You were a real Twin Peaks fan speaking, and I think whoever keeps watching your videos are the real Twin Peaks fans, not the casual ones, not the new ones, because I also checked out some of the new ones. Like, it's crazy. These past 2-3 weeks, there have been hundreds of videos, and it's stupid because they're never here before.
Yeah, don't call anybody out though. I don't want to start a YouTube war.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. But what catched me, it was like, I don't have the same feeling as you because you watched it like 25 years ago, but I felt some of the feelings that I have in you about the show, about the waiting, about the anticipation. And it is lovely, man, to find guys like you, and you gather people all around the world. And also in here, there are so many people that watch different series. They come up to me, say, okay, what is this Twin Peaks thing? You have made a cafe restaurant based on it. So what is it? And I don't suggest it to them because I can't hear anyone coming out to say, oh, what was this? I didn't understand anything. I tell them, okay, you can go out, watch series like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, but don't come after Twin Peaks until you're prepared. Because you need to, it is not only the show that you need to like, it's not a series only to watch, you need to live it. You need to feel it inside you to fall in love with it. It's the experience, it is these discussions. And I am also trying to start a Persian language discussion about Twin Peaks with one of my other friends, which also loves Twin Peaks. because there's nothing like this in here about like a podcast, a discussion about Twin Peaks. Maybe some people back here will find it out. I don't know. But it is a lovely channel. I love your videos. I've watched every single video you have had, like in the past 5-6 months.
Oh, good Lord. That's a lot of, that's over 200 of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why not? You?
Like I go to work when I'm not so busy, my earphones are on and I'm watching camera speaking.
What's
So
the name of your cafe, Arbi?
It is Cafe Paradiso, like the movie Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah.
But the theme is totally Twin Peaks, a double R diner theme. I have a picture of Bob in the toilet, so he looks at the people who go there. Also, on the mirror in the toilet, it is written, "There is a man behind the wall who's doing it."
Great
as a
idea.
reference to the Mulholland Drive. Yeah. And
So you see, you're literally
Wow.
you're literally scaring the piss out of people.
Wow, Bob,
Listen,
wow.
Listen, you need to find somewhere in your budget to hire like a really ugly homeless person behind your restaurant to scare people as they park.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one in Mulholland Drive. And also there are pictures of Twin Peaks, the sofas, the chest-like floor is like Twin Peaks, red drapes are there from David Lynch on the wall. So I'll try to send you some pictures and videos like tomorrow maybe.
Great.
I hope
That'd be
you'll
wonderful.
enjoy it.
So people are asking, where are you from?
I'm from Iran.
Iran. Yeah.
Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tehran.
Tehran.
I just want to throw this out there because I've gotten a lot of people writing messages to me about this today. So I don't know, maybe there's something in the air, but people are asking, they've been asking me, Cameron, are you aware of the vlog lady out there on YouTube? Of course I am. She's I've watched her video. She is a lot of times in the live chats. I've asked her several times to come on to the videos, invite her on as a guest. She says that she's very shy.
Where is the log lady from?
England, I think, right?
Yeah, she's from the UK.
Yeah, and so she's wonderful, and I'd love to have her on the show. And so, if you guys are fans of hers, let her know that you want to see her on the show.
Yeah, we want to see the vlog lady.
Yeah, I think that would be wonderful. I think maybe a little bit of fan peer pressure would help get her over here. So that would be great. But yeah, please send the pictures. I will and video, whatever you want to send us. I will publicize the hell out of it.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Now, Danny, what were you going to say about? I think you were about to answer Arby's question about. Was it how you found this channel? That's all. I think it was, or why do you watch this channel than some of the other channels that you've seen out there? I guess.
I only watch 2 channels. Since yesterday, I watched 2 channels. Since yesterday, I watched yours and the vlog ladies.
Oh.
I felt, oh no, her speech was so, I don't know, so clear. And, you know, she made that rough cuts in her video that, you know, remembers me in part 3, you know, the first 10 minutes when Cooper was, you know, in that other dimension, and, you know, that tap, 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 forward, rewind, and bop, 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 bop. And I thought, okay, she speaks clear, make it forward, rewind it, you know, listen to her. Why I'm on your channel? You are, you know, you speak clear. You are in front of us. You look at us. You have, you know, we see your face. We see your thoughts. We see your feelings. You said about something about your wife, and at this point, a big, great greetings to your wife, because she let you do that what your passion is. You are speaking to the Twin Peaks family worldwide. And so, thanks to your wife that she allows that.
Well, I also plan it around her schedules too, so I don't get too much in trouble.
But you are so clear, and you are telling, like, on all the other channels. When you've asked Uncle Google and you given up Twin Peaks, there's coming such comments. This is the season 3 part 4 broadcast, and now we're gonna recatch it all. Oh, sorry, I don't want to hear that stuff. I love it when I have a face, when I have a facial reaction, and for the first time. I'm really sorry when I don't remember all the names. When you do that with all the other guys and you switch it all around, and all the different meanings, feelings, thoughts, and opinions are coming all through in one, and that are like all my brothers. We're in one room. We're sitting there drinking a beer and talking about a problem. And this felt really familiar to me. And this is the reason why I thought, for me, okay, this channel, I'm follow.
Well, thank you. Arbi, I just want to let you know that we've had a number of people check out your cafe, and they said it looks amazing. It looks beautiful. And they all wish they could go there.
Thank you very much.
They all wish they could go there today.
We have a big Instagram page. If you guys have Instagram, it's cafe_paradiso. It has like 19K followers, so you can check out better pictures over there on Instagram.
Oh yeah, and
thank you.
No, that's absolutely wonderful. And Hal, you found us, and you contacted me, much like Dani and Arbi here, when I put out a call saying, "Hey, does anyone want to come on with me tonight?" And you and Frank came on, and you've been a regular ever since. So yeah. I look at all three of you, and we had more guests earlier. It's amazing how none of us have ever met in person, and yet between the comments and the videos, like Dani was saying, it's become like one big family.
Yes.
And that's why I do the videos so often. It's almost like I want to check in with everybody and see how everybody's doing, see what they're thinking, see how they're feeling about the show. That's why I asked you guys, where are you in your fandom today? It's like, because it's almost like a living, breathing thing. It's not like, oh, I'm a fan of Twin Peaks. Okay. I mean, it's like one day you could be really happy with the show. The next day you could be really distraught and upset about something, or trying to work out a problem in your head. And then, but the show has always been about that balance. And so I'm just so happy you're here too, Hal. Thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting me back again and again. So yeah, and these guys, Arbi and Dani's enthusiasm is so beautiful to watch. So it was cool that you jumped on here today.
Oh yeah,
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Cameron, this thing is so good. Your thing is so good that I hope it never ends. It's like a dream. It's like the dreams in David Lynch movies. So I hope it never ends. So happy to be here.
William TIPQ says, I was mad at Cameron about the Mark Frost book, but I realized he was a really cool dude after the series started, and I apologized. People got really mad at me when I was like, yeah, I didn't like the book at all.
Didn't like the book.
No, so it is what it is. We had
I just reread the end of the book because I didn't really like it either when I first read it, but now in retrospect with the Major Briggs thing, where he calls Mayday at the end, it kind of gave me chills again. So you might want to go back and look at the last few pages. It's kind of cool.
Listen, I'm not against the book. It is what it is. I do have the audio version of the book, so it's like if I need to reference it, I don't know. To me,
because the series revealed, that Cooper was the last one to visit Major Briggs before he died, and it kind of goes into that, moment.
No, and all that I love. All that I love. It's the other 350.
It was not what we expected.
It's all the other 350.
It was not what we expected.
Right.
It was not what I expected, but it really didn't do anything for me. Whereas this new show is not what I expected, but it's giving me everything I want.
Yes.
And again, it's almost like you can love John Lennon music, you can love Paul McCartney music, but it was the Beatles were them together. And that's when Mark and David are together. I think that's where the magic truly happens. Yeah. If it's Mark Frost doing his thing, I can appreciate aspects of it. When it's Lynch doing his thing, obviously, a lot of aspects I can love about it. But when they get together, it's like fireworks you cannot duplicate. So that's just, where it is. We have a lot of people watching. Everyone loves you, Dani. They love your enthusiasm. Yeah. And Arbi, you're going to get a tremendous amount of people following your cafe now. I'll tell you that much. Frank was on here earlier, and he's got a podcast, and he, we talked about his podcast last time, and now he's got like 400 likes on his Facebook thing. So that's fantastic. I'm so happy. I mean, obviously I love the numbers and people tuning into these podcasts, but I love highlighting all the guests and getting them like positive word of mouth their way as well. It's just so wonderful, because the whole point is to help each other out in this wonderful community. So
indeed.
One thing left. Tonight you gave us an invitation. An invitation for a group call. But
invitation to love.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like Lynch would say, that's an invitation to love, an invitation to Twin Peaks. So thank you, Cameron.
People are wondering where Dirk is, and I invited him to come on today, but he has a cold, so he couldn't make it. Let's see here. Just going through some of the last comments.
Get well soon.
They're talking about the book, and why does Cameron not like the book but he likes the show? It doesn't make any sense. It's sometimes things don't make sense. Sometimes it's just it's a feeling. And like I said, I don't have a problem with the book itself. I'm glad that people found what they liked about it. I don't know. I was kind of let down just because it felt like to me, like Mark Frost was writing a giant history book and then plugged in just some Twin Peaks stuff scattered throughout. It didn't feel like a cohesive whole. But this final dossier book that comes out in October, I'm all over that, because I really do believe that final dossier book is what was promised to us with the first book. Because when the first book was going to come out, they put out a press release saying that the book was going to cover the 25 years in between the show and the new series. Well, that's not what we got. So I have a feeling that Lynch said, could we put that on the back burner? And hey, that history book you were working on? Do you mind reworking that and making that a little more Twin Peaksy? Oh yeah, sure. And then that became the first book, because it, I don't know. That's just the vibe I get. I think this new book is going to be awesome and everything we wanted it to be. I was not opposed to really anything that Mark Frost had in his book, except the fact that I thought it was just too long. If it was maybe 100 pages shorter, it would have felt more tighter, more condensed, and I probably could have gotten through it, felt more positive about it. But as it was like 50, 60 pages going by before there was anything of interest to me about anything about Twin Peaks. It was so much Lewis and Clark. And yeah, we get a Lewis and Clark reference with Wally Brando, but that's not good enough for me to read 60 pages about. So I don't know. That's just me. I mean, like I said, I don't think it's a terrible book, but just for me, I thought it was bad for me. But I'm tired of talking about it and apologizing for my feelings about it. So it is what it is. But anyway, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. But and I said that like 45 minutes ago. So Arbi, where can people find you online besides the Instagram? Do you have a Twitter?
No, I'm not into social media that much.
Oh,
I have only the Instagram page of my cafe.
Okay.
So they can maybe email me, or I don't know.
Well, send it out. What's your email?
It is too long. Maybe you can put it in the comments
later
in the rb.barahanian87@gmail.com.
Why don't you? Just send it to me and I'll make sure I post it.
Okay, sure.
Dani, what about you? Can people find you on social media? Or are you hiding out as well?
I'm on Facebook. My first, your front name is D-A, and the last name is N-I. D-A-N-I.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Or, my email address.
You don't have to give it out if you don't want to, but if you want to.
You got it.
You're gonna have a lot of people writing you. I'll tell you that much.
So no, it's about Facebook. D-A-N-I. That's enough.
Okay. All right, Hal. How do people reach you?
Hey, I've got nothing to plug, but yeah, if you want to friend me on Facebook, I'm always accepting friends that are Twin Peaks fans. So it's Hal Brandt, B-R-A-N-D-T. Very German, Danny, that spelling of the last name.
Okay.
And you guys know where to find us. Obviously, everything's in the show notes below. You can email us. You can message us. We have a Facebook page, Obnoxious and Anonymous. We're just so happy you guys are all here and part of this community here on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page. We also have a Twitter account, which you can find at Obnox Anonymous. It's all in the show notes below. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We did kind of a big extended episode today. I just was wanting to do one of these videos and talk Twin Peaks, and I put out the word and angels appeared, and here we are. We're having a wonderful discussion, and there was a bunch of you on here earlier. Thank you so much for joining as well. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful day.
Enjoy part 6.
Oh yeah, well, maybe we'll probably see you before that, but have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night wherever you are.
Thank you, guys.
Wherever you are in the world, wherever you guys are in the
Bye-bye.
world. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.